Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome back. Here we are at the By Leaps and Bounties actual play of 7C, second edition, brought to you by Rook and Rasp. The game is published by Chaosium, and we have been having a banger of a second season so far. We are nearing the end with only this episode and two more before we get to some big epicness, and so we are super excited to get to that. But before anything else, I'm going to introduce myself, and all of these lovely people are going to introduce themselves. I'm Danny. I am the storyteller, and I'm the one that plays everybody else that these four lovely people do not play, and an attempt to guide this thing more like a stage manager who's just trying to keep the show together. But I love it. I love them. And so we are going to go ahead and get introduced. Let's start with Michael this time.
Hi, I'm Michael. I play Andreas. I am a Sarmatian Commonwealth duelist with a friend, and currently trying to get out of Sarmatia so that we can go find what's up, and then remembering I have paperwork.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Ala, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Ala, and I play Ninette Quimvert of Montaigne, who is an ex-Porte sorcier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be fine.
Fine.
Just great.
Rue.
Hi, my name is Rue, and I play Ace McYanson, the crew's gunslinger, hot-headed sailor, and current first mate of the Belladonna.
And John.
Hi everyone, I am John Thompson, and I play Gianni Messina. I got it right this week. And I'm a Vodacci bundle of chaos, I guess is the best thing to say about it at this point.
For sure. Last time when we met our intrepid heroes, they met with Giovanni Villanova and Matteo Villanova and, of course, Olivia Dubois at the Silver Plate. And learned some things, got offered, to join forces, no reason for all this bloodshed. Gianni decided to play it up. Like, yes, I'm a Villanova, I am just like you. And it worked pretty well. Dubois got shot. A whole bunch of guards got taken out. Ace flipped a table. I
don't think I actually ever flipped the table. It was discussed, but I think she stayed on the ground and crawled out the end.
We never actually flipped the table. We really wanted to, though.
We joked about it for a long time, so I can see why everybody may have thought that, but I don't think she actually did. Sorry.
Well, you didn't need to go back, walk back in the Silver Plate, be like, oh, sorry, we forgot something.
Just my little parting gift. Your service sucks.
Yeah. Do you remember me?
And then they all made it out after the Villanovas and Dubois had managed to walk out after realizing that things weren't going quite the way they wanted to, and decided that they didn't want to press it at this time. So then they made it back to the ship. Everybody kind of settled in, talked to who they needed to talk to, and Ace was going to figure out what because her brother had showed her some landmarks and things to help them figure out where the Whisper was. And Ace was trying to figure that out when she got a message from Kaya that got cut off abruptly. That had never happened before. And that is where we left things last time. So, if everybody's ready to begin, we see our book on the table as before. More and more accoutrements are laying there. A porcelain plate with a silver band around it. maybe some thread, a whole bunch of things coloring this desk. But in the middle is the book, and it is a dark, almost black leather. And it says "Buy Leaps and Bounties," and it says "Book 2" on the side, beautifully leather embossed. We have our 4 oval portraits in the corner of the cover. One consisting of threads going in and various places. The other of a silhouette, which looks a lot like the one that is behind Michael right now. And then below that, we have like a ship's wheel, navigational star, compass, half. And then we have the 4th one is droplets. Droplets. Book opens, we go flying past all the chapters that we have done before. We get to chapter 12, entitled The Tightrope. And below that is a quote. The world may end up under a sword of Damocles on a tightrope over the abyss. Andre Agromico. And the picture is of the navigation room of the Belladonna, the room where they keep their maps and all of that. And we see Ace in profile. And how would Ace look in this still image on her face after being cut off from Kaya? Would she be stoic and not believing, shocked? Would she look horrified? What sort of expression might she have on her face?
Push the button.
Sorry. She's always kind of grabbing her wrist anyway when she talks to Kaya. It is the most tangible connection she has with him. And if it hurt, then she's probably holding it to her a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. And she's probably got kind of that... There's an anime face I can see in my head. But it's a very kind of wide-eyed, almost a faraway look, but it's kind of intense because, you know, when they have their connection, she sees through his eyes and vice versa. So she's kind of coming back to herself after the abrupt end, and she doesn't look stoic. She doesn't necessarily look angry or anything. Probably just a shock. And if you sit there for a minute, it probably starts to bleed into a lot of determination.
Okay. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and as we watch, color bleeds in, sounds of the ship, and all of that, and it kind of bleeds the color. We get the smells of the room, of the ink, and all of that, and the face coming into color, and we see Ace go into her determined face as we come live into the picture, into the situation. And Ace, move is yours.
She's definitely probably pale also. I would think the color kind of drained from her face. So he had given me coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
If possible, I would like to, and I did make the roll last week to be able to remember those. Once the connection drops. So I'm going to look at the charts on the desk in front of me and take note of where those are. I'm not going to write anything down, and then I'm going to think for a moment, and hearing the sounds of the repairs that are still going on. Ace is probably going to go above decks and look for one of the longboats off the side of the ship.
All right. What you know when you take note of the map and look at where these coordinates are, it's about 5 miles from here along the coastline. And this little cove, when you're kind of looking, you're like, because at first you were like, that doesn't look like anything, but when you look, you can see that there is like a kind of small cove in there that, if you hadn't been told, you probably wouldn't have noticed. Because it's kind of shown on the map really, loosely. But yeah, so you see there's a cove about 5 miles away, or kilometer, or whatever measurement they would use in Thea. I'm American, so 5 miles. Um, that's the way it is. Yeah, so that's what you see, and you're gonna go up and find one of the longboats.
That yeah, she's definitely gonna look, and she's at least making sure that she has that she has a plan, and she's gonna make sure that at least most of the pieces are in place.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so she's gonna look for the longboat. I think last time we said it was gonna be like 6 hours or something before we were gonna be fit to sail. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Something evening time.
Okay.
Yep.
Then she will find whatever of her friends are together. I'm assuming it's probably just Andreas and Gianni. But she's probably gonna have to find Andreas, and she'll probably grab Keg and be like, "Come with me." And I will say that she probably has enough of a serious look on her face that if she like is short with people, like people that she's normally a lot more formal with as far as titles and things, if she skips that, at least with a lot of the Vesson crew, they would know that something serious was happening.
Yeah, Keg would. I mean, he's worked with you enough to know that something had to be going on. So yeah, you find Keg easily enough. On the day shift, help overseeing repairs and stuff. What would Andreas and Gianni be doing? Like I said, it's not long after you came back from the brunch, so it's afternoon or midday or so.
Andreas probably has a like a bundled up packet of paperwork that he's heading towards the gangplank with.
Mm-hmm.
And when he sees Ace, he will follow. And wait patiently.
Awesome. I'd be like, oh, what does Ace want? And Gianni, what are you up to?
Johnny's gonna be doing what he can to help get the ship ready, because at this point he's like, okay, all things considered, we have a general idea where the ship is. There's no reason to stay here unless we just want to meet more of, the assassins for, my uncle, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, it's easy enough for you to see where you're helping out Ace, going and talking to Keg, and then heading over to Andreas, and it does look very intent and serious, very, very determined. Definitely the vibes of something's up, way up.
Way up, like her stress level. Captain, to be frank, I feel like we're running out of time. I just received I received contact from my brother, and it was cut off abruptly, and I'm worried. I saw some things. Yes.
I think Danny's internet connection's dying.
Do
you want to restart your router or something real quick?
I don't even know what's going on. This is like the only thing going. No idea. Let me check connection here.
Do we need to switch to the break real fast?
Technical difficulties?
Yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah, switch it.
We apologize for having some technical difficulties.
Damn tentacles. God damn it.
We're back.
You know, I didn't think that the desire to prevent you guys from stopping them would bleed over into actually janking my freaking internet connection. But we're gonna continue on. Um, Ace was, last I heard, Ace was describing to Andreas what happened.
I had just started to talk to Andreas, yes.
Right.
So
And
I'll just
Gianni had seen Ace going across looking very intent.
Okay. Saying we didn't have very much time left, I believe, was the last line.
right. I said, Captain, I don't think we have a lot of time. I've heard from my brother, and I do know where they are. Um, but something has happened to him, and I need to get word to the Dawn immediately.
Um. Shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask Tomas to send anything. That is
No, no,
absolutely
no.
not what I'm going to do. And Vivian does not have any marks over there, and I don't know of any way. I don't understand any of this shit anyway, so I don't. I don't know any other way to get to them except for to boat, because they are out at the mouth of the bay, and that's all I know to do. The
No. It's a good idea. You get word to them. We will meet you as soon as we can.
I
Uh,
will. I will get word back to this ship. I'm going to.
oh, before you go, take a marked object from Viviana.
Yeah, I'm going to go talk to Vivian and see um, what she would prefer, whether to come with or to send something back with me. I don't plan to leave without this ship, but it depends on what Stormrider has to say.
We're working together, but it is her ship, so we don't really have a say.
Well, no, but it's her son. If you get
I
my
know.
meaning, if you
Yes.
get my meaning, that's all I'm talking about. Is if she wants to go now, we go now, and
So you saw him be hurt.
it has never hurt me to talk to him before, and the way that this was cut off, and the information he was sharing was very specific and very open, and that is not how he has ever communicated before. So I think he knew that something was going to happen. I don't have any indication that he's dead or anything like that, but something ended the call very quickly, and I don't think I've gotten a chance to tell you, but I do know that Silent Death, the effects of, I think, his bracer are starting to show on the crew because he has the same scars that I do.
I have an idea. While you're getting the longboat ready, I'm going to call Gianni over here.
Okay.
I'm probably
Just
up
a thought.
above in the rigging. I've noticed you.
Yeah, I'll just motion you down.
Do a couple rope tricks, and here I come.
Um, and
I
then
came
I
in
will
like a wrecking
quiet.
ball.
Oh, so that's why the longboat got done.
Wrecking ball. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he just rode the rope down with the boat.
A la Miley.
I pick up the sledgehammer, lick it, and then
Hashtag
throw it
copyright
overboard.
strikes. Gianni, is Ace still connected to her brother?
Show me the tattoo, and I'll activate the site.
I do.
Uh-huh. You can see, yeah, the connection is still there. The links going to it are there.
It is still there. The magic is still present.
Just a thought. Maybe that was what caused the pain.
What? That?
That potentially because Gianni described Fate Lines being cut as very painful. So I thought maybe that
yeah.
the line had been cut between the two of you.
I don't know how they would. I mean, who the fuck knows how they do anything? But yeah, it didn't feel that way. It just felt. I don't know. I don't know how often or if I've ever really explained what this is that we have, and I mostly because I don't know. But we are able to share some senses when we are communicating, and so I assumed that it was just pain. That cut us off, but I need to go find Vivian. I just wanted you to know that I'm not abandoning ship or anything like that, but we don't have any way to communicate with anybody anymore. Now that Nanette and Tomas have they can't use anything.
Yeah. All right. I will say this. I have to go to file the paperwork so that we can legally take down Silent Death. But I would prefer if Vivian stayed on this ship, because if you take her with you, then we're in the same problem, especially if you just... Which I would completely respect if you decide to go with your mother just because she's left early. It is your brother.
Sure, I mean, Vivian could walk back, but yes. Thank you, Captain. I have an idea, and I have circled a place on the charts. If I don't come back, I have circled the place where they are, and I'm 100% confident in that.
I'm very sorry to ask. What is going on?
I love you,
Time.
Gianni. I really do. But I don't have time to repeat that. And I kind of walk off, and I'm like, Keg, can you...
Andreas will explain. Something will explain.
Keg, prep the boats. Like Ace is like, Gianni, I love you, and like kisses your head, and then walks off. She's
I'll
like,
explain in a bit. We need to get the boat under we now need to get the boat underway even faster.
That's
Meanwhile, in the Montaigne portion of the ship, in the Montaigne section, what's happening over there? Well, they're all up there a little.
I honestly, Nanette would probably be having some wine with Vivienne, as sort of an apology for, hey, I know we just hired you, and then we immediately roped you into some weird-ass magic shit. So let me just give you some background on that, and that's basically what they're doing, is that they're just having a little girls' chat, getting to know each other, explaining what the fuck all that was about, and, yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to briefly give you what you learned, and then I'm going to cut back to Andreas and Gianni, and then more than likely Ace will show up at that point while you're talking to Vivian. So let's do it that way. What you learn about Vivian is that she grew up Montaigne noble. Her family, when she gives her family name, was not as prestigious or rich as yours even. So, just very, very minor nobility, but she did have abilities and stuff. And her family, and this is going to sound familiar, was attempting to kind of use her ability to kind of, up their status. They didn't have hopes of, like, the palace or anything, but just, a little brush up of title might be nice if Vivian could have been a duchess or, something like that, But she didn't want that and decided that she would instead use her skills to make her own way in the world. And
we drink to that.
We drink to that. She has no siblings, which is kind of part of why she had so much pressure, because her parents had literally no one else to work on it, to work on their status or anything like that. If you tell her about Charuz, she'll be upset about that. She'll express, I should at least write to my parents and see if they're okay. And all of that. So, yeah, that's what you learn. At least in that little discussion. And she's very interested to hear what you have to say about the background of all of that. And seems quite fascinated. Especially, would you divulge any of the, like, Porte stuff you've been dealing with? Like, how much of that are you going to reveal?
I mean, probably not the verbal diarrhea that Antoine got, or the kind of the more neutered version that Dubois got. It's even more pared back. It's enough information to just highlight just how terrible it was, and what an absolute novice mistake Nanette made doing all of this. And she's fairly open, but not like, here's not all the grisly details, not the murder, but
he just tripped and fell into the hole. I don't understand how that Just right there.
Could it happen to anyone? It was, it wasn't a premeditated, serial killer thing. Just, it's fine. But no, like,
All right,
she
cool.
tries to communicate the severity of the situation, and that's why we had to resort to such weird and desperate measures.
Okay, cool. All right, Andreas and Gianni. Okay, Ace has just walked off. Said, Gianni, I love you. I don't have time to explain. And
kissed
walked
the top
off.
of his head. I kissed the top of his head and said, "I love
It's
you,"
still a
but I'm
kiss top of
walking
the head.
away.
Yeah. So that is what Andreas and Gianni are left with.
Okay, getting the ship ready quicker. That is I can understand. Okay.
Yes. In the meantime, I need to leave and file this paperwork before we get underway. I should have filed it days ago, but we had a Villanova to deal with.
Awesome. Okay, so you're gonna go file that paperwork.
Quickly.
All right. Power walking.
Andreas
Gianni, what do
may
you...
rent a horse.
Ooh, okay. And Gianni, what are you gonna do once Andreas leaves? Andreas, are you gonna explain to Gianni what's happening, or before you leave?
Nope, I told him I'd
or-
explain it later.
Okay then.
Gianni
I did say
is
those
going
words.
to put all his effort, especially with Keg doing whatever Keg is doing. Every last effort of Gianni's is into getting this ship ready to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's going to be. He's going to put whatever he's learned to use, and even in the rigging, start telling people what to do up there if necessary.
All right. Excellent. All right. Meanwhile, Ace, you go to find Vivian.
Yes.
Right? I'm assuming? Is that
Yeah,
what you're doing?
I was going to ask someone below decks if they'd seen her, or if I was aware exactly where her room was. I would go there.
You weren't exactly sure, but it's easy enough to see like Pip there, and Pip is like, "Hey, yeah, she's there, and I saw Nanette go in, Miss Primver go in there with her a little bit ago."
Wonderful. Thank you, lad. And I pat him on the head, and I don't say goodbye, but I give him a very forlorn look as I walk away.
He looks confused.
Yeah.
He's like,
So dramatic.
So dramatic. Aye, lad.
is there like in the arms of the angels playing somehow as she looks back and the angels?
She sings it as she walks away. No. So yeah, I will approach Miss Monet's door, and I will knock politely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both you and Vivian hear a knock. Vivian gets up and opens the door, and Ace is there, and you see Nanette seated, probably with a drink in her hand, either water or wine, whatever they choose
It's
to
wine.
be partaking in.
Tasting all the wine. She's gonna ride that drunk.
Look,
to
I
the
had a
end.
bottle of the Chateau du Bois 78, and we're gonna drink it.
Is that
Yeah.
still around? I thought you drank it a couple episodes ago.
I had a few bottles for special occasions.
Okay, there. Let's get it out. Lush. Okay, so, Miss Monet, I have a bit of an emergency, and Ace will take note of Nanette and nod and turn back to Vivienne and say, I need to speak with you, perhaps privately?
Oh, of course.
Is something the matter? Oh, your
Yeah.
pistol was not in the infirmary. I assume you got it.
It's fine. It's safe.
Vivian's watching the back and forth, like.
Actually, the pistol is part. Anyway, it's fine. Nanette, do you mind if we conduct business for a moment? I don't want to interrupt your.
Of course. Vivian, thank you for the for your services. I should be in the infirmary if you need me.
Ah.
And she takes her cane and hobbles away. With a wine glass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so she invites you into the room, and shuts the door. And he says, "How can I help you, mademoiselle?"
So, I have I have a family emergency that is going to call me away from the ship for a minute, for a bit, and the captain has requested that you do not come with me, even though it was my initial, my initial hope was be that you could at least accompany me to our ally ship, the Sapphire Dawn. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the captain is, well, she's an ally, and I we need a way to communicate with their ship. And I pull out, clearly not drawing it, but I remove the marked pistol from my holster, and I say, she this is a mark for their mage on the other ship that they can use to come here, and you know how it works far better than I do. We need something to communicate with them. I was going to bring you with me so you could mark something there, and maybe bring back something else, because I can't leave this when I leave. But if you want to just send something that you've marked, we can do that too.
I can do so. Yes, this sounds very dangerous.
Yeah, I'm. For your first day, it's quite a lot to unload any of that on you, but I do appreciate you being here and you being so accommodating after all the shit, which I assume is what Miss Primavera was initially talking to you about. But yes, Ace pulls out the compass that she's been carrying, and she was like, if since Captain doesn't want you to leave the ship, can you mark this?
Oh, yes, of course. And she, pulls out a tiny, it's almost like a letter opener size blade. Like, it's not a huge thing, it's just a little thing. And she, gets her finger and she, marks the compass, and she says, "There, now I will be able to tell where you are if you are close."
Yes, that would be great.
Well, I will not know if you're in trouble, but should there be a time when I should check on you?
I don't know yet. Give me. Shit, let's see. Ace would. Okay, Ace is gonna rattle off a sufficient amount of time to be able to get to where the Dawn is. Which, as someone has pointed out behind the scenes, yes, there are ship flags, but as far as I understand, the Sapphire Dawn is not in visible range, even with the spyglass.
Yeah, they're not, because
there's
they
no
had to
use
stay.
of ship
Yeah.
flags.
Oh, I thought we had used them before to communicate with them as well.
Yeah,
we were
when you guys were
not
on
in
the,
harbor.
yeah.
I don't think.
I
No.
thought we were in
Yeah,
Harbor
I
last
mean,
time. She came for a visit, but
I thought she just came.
Right, but you have to be able to see the ship to do that, and you cannot at this point because the Sapphire Dawn had to stay out of port because of their reputation.
her being a pirate.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
But
All right.
Ace will give an amount of time that would be sufficient for her to at least make it out there, and pad it by like 15 minutes because she wants to do one thing before she leaves, and she knows it's going to take a minute for Keg to get the boat ready.
Yes. Well, and also, if you're going to where the Dawn is, their Porte Mage can take you back to the ship because their mark is there.
Well, is
so
it, no, I thought it
that's
was on
not
the
what
gun.
it is.
I thought it was on the gun.
It is on the gun.
Oh, did you ask her to put it on? Okay. All right. Okay.
That was my thing.
Well-
Is when they gave the mark to me. And this may be me misunderstanding, but my understanding was that their mark was only on the pistol. If it is somewhere else on the ship, then Ace won't worry about it. she'll just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh well, yeah, I have got another way back, but I still would
No,
like
no,
Vivian."
it was because she handed the pistol that was marked, and
Yes.
so I think y'all just hadn't gotten around to marking like something else on the ship.
Right, right.
So yeah, okay then. Yeah, so she'll say okay, and she'll mark the time, and all of that. Um, yeah, she nods. She says, "Very well. I will check in on you at that time. Try to be in a place that is safe, and I will come and check on you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you very much. And
That is what you pay me for, or Madame Prevet pays me for. Madame Prevet pays me for.
yeah, Nanette won't let us forget who pays you. And I clasp her hand in both of mine, and I thank her very sincerely. And then Ace is gonna run back to the navigation room for just a second, whenever. But
Okay.
that can wait or not be addressed right now. That's fine too.
All right. Yeah. As Nanette's walking down the hall, she feels like somebody just gave me shade. I don't know where. No, just kidding.
So used to it by now.
No, Nanette absolutely makes sure everybody knows who's getting paid, who's paid. It's just the way she is.
Hold on,
she does.
hold on. All that shade is how the Montaigne keeps such fair skin. It's a requirement
That's
for their
true.
complexion.
Oh, Ace is learning then.
Yeah. So very much so. Okay. So where's Nanette gonna go? She leaves the room.
She's gonna go to the infirmary. We've been told that we have to bump up our departure by like a whole day, so we gotta crunch some numbers to make sure everything works. So she's basically doing accounting with Odile while she embroiders, stress embroiders.
Okay. Excellent. Alrighty. And then we have Andreas chomping away. Going to submit paperwork. And you get to, do you get a horse or a carriage or anything like that to take you to the offices where you
I would get a horse if it would mean if I could do it quickly and it would save me time.
It would. To get a horse, yes. To
So,
rent
yeah.
one.
Yeah, so Andreas would rent a horse for a few hours, and quickly ride to the magistrate's office, where he could file the paperwork he picked up days ago,
Yeah,
and spent
excellent.
like 2 nights filling it out
Mm-hmm.
and double checking it.
Yeah. You get into the office, and the magistrate's office, and you realize you're gonna be here a bit. There are a lot of people here at windows. Some look like they've been here a while. They have beverages. So, yeah, I mean, you put your horse, you walk in the building, and yeah, there's people, and it's you know, it's basically the DMV, you know, take a number, have a seat, file your paperwork, all of that sort of stuff. Are you gonna queue up, or are we just
Takes
like
a
F this
number.
noise?
And sits down.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you're there doing that. Gianni, you're helping move things along in the rigging?
However I can. If I work in the rigging, I see people bringing on supplies, I start talking people into getting stuff on board, make sure that, like, I'll call down to whoever's on deck that's in charge of storage. I'll be like, hey, they're bringing it on the boat now. Whatever I can to motivate and keep people going. Especially if the
Sweet.
captain's off, so.
Sweet.
And I guess the first mate. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Keg will shout up to you. And he's like, Raspo,
Yeah.
how about a merry song to keep us working? Eh?
You got it.
Cool.
And so yeah, here I am hanging up by a rope with my feet, playing my concertina and singing to the crew.
Yeah,
So who would be acting captain? Would it be Keg at this point?
probably.
Yes.
Yeah, because he'd be next, yeah. Yeah. So I'm imagining some kind of like work song, like, you know, you love
Absolutely.
16 tons. What do you know, and everyone's just
Working 9 to
joining in
5.
and a five. What a way to make, whatever.
No, it's got to have a beat
Got a
to
good
keep people
rhythm to
going.
work
Oh yeah.
to. Yeah, yeah,
Sing it for
yeah.
us, Gianni.
No, not
Like a
tonight. Not
cadence.
tonight. It's still getting better, but no, it's totally like AC/DC Back in Black kind of thing.
Oh, come on, it's
Yeah,
Gilligan's
nice.
Island. Let's not fucking joke around.
Eric Bischoff walks down the decks. I'm probably the only one that gets that joke.
Bright side of life. We're gonna get in there.
You
Bright
threw in
side
a
of
name
life.
from wrestling, and I was fucking lost. I don't know what you're dealing with.
It
All
was
right.
his entrance music.
Cool. So, Nanette, you can definitely hear from where you're doing music, like singing, like from above on the deck somewhere. You know,
What?
very sailory, shanty, military cadence kind of thing. It's definitely you know, you know.
She was
all
she was
that.
worried morale would be a problem with us busting out of here so soon. So she brainstorms with Odile and then eventually sends her to buy out basically one of the larger saunas, the co-ed saunas for the crew. Who anybody who is not on duty can get a really brief shore leave to relax. And then I guess she will wrap up all her writing and paperwork and just go see what's going on deck.
You hear Gianni, and Keg is out there, and the workers are going, but you do not see Andreas or Ace anywhere at all.
This is nothing new. I just want to let you know whoever is not on duty is welcome to go to Michael, what's the name of the largest sauna in town?
The bathhouse.
The largest bathhouse in town.
The Blue Steam.
The Blue Steam.
Mhm.
Whoever is not on
Nice.
duty or currently working on the ship is welcome to relax. I will make sure the food is catered there, and you will have your leave of the place. Just make sure to be back by sundown, so we can get off on time. If you are working next shore leave, you get first dibs and also 3 times pay. Just we apologize for the
Money's
rush.
no object.
Money is literally no object, but it kind of has been. We've been spending very frivolously, but at the same time, crew morale is more important. And I just want to make sure that all of you know how valuable you are right now. She's basically giving the middle management pep talk. Like, yes, guys, this is crunch time, but it'll be better. And once we get a vacation, it's going to be real nice. 3 times pay,
We'll have a pizza party on Friday
And
we'll wear jeans.
ice cream.
Oh.
And 1 beer, it'll be 3%, but
Johnny, yeah, you definitely seen Nanette come out and saying this to Keg and the crew and all of that. For sure. All right, Ace, you are. Keg has gotten a longboat ready for you. At this point, that's what you're going to the navigation room first to do something. What are you doing in there?
I am going to check the compass and see if it points in the direction of where the whisper, the coordinates that Kai gave me. If I can corroborate those locations.
Right. It points to the pot of gold. Right. Yeah. But it is generally the same vicinity, the same direction. Yeah.
So, I know that when I push the button on the compass, it essentially lights up a beacon on the map in Captain O'Connell's quarters, correct? That
Yeah,
says
where the compass is.
where the
Yeah.
compass
Mhm.
is.
Mm-hmm. Indicating trouble or you need them or something. Yeah.
How far? Ace would probably. I mean, I can make a sailing roll for this. Ace would have a good idea about those coordinates and how long it would take a normally equipped ship like the Pot of Gold to get to where we are, or where the Belladonna or the Dawn to get to where those coordinates are. Do I have an estimate on that?
Okay, so the Whisper is about 5 miles away, going by shore, which is not far. I mean, it's not far,
Right.
but it's hidden.
Okay.
Well, 5 miles, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's not far, far. I would guess. I mean, running a car that's like a mile a minute if you're going 60. Oh God, maybe.
I mean, we'll just say like
Hold on.
12 hours away.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say,
like few hours. Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, a knot is a knot 1 knot per hour is 1 nautical mile per hour. So a ship going 15 knots is going 15 nautical miles per hour.
Right.
But how does that translate
So-
to how long it's going to take us to get there? I'm assuming in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Assuming the
Probably.
wind is favorable and everything, like
Yeah.
all the other.
Well,
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah,
instead
a
of
couple
picking
hours.
a distance, we'll just say that it's about 6 to 12.
2 or 3 hours.
Or 2 or 3 hours. That's fine.
6 to 12.
And
2 or 3
that's
hours. Yeah.
that's the Whisper.
That would be the Whisper. Yes.
Okay.
If you're talking about the Pot of Gold, they'd probably be a little bit farther
Okay.
away, like
Is
5 hours or 6 hours.
I'm going to make a decision, and I'm going to push the button. And I'm going to push the button, and I don't know if there's a visual or some type of response that it gives me to let me know that it worked, like if it glows a pretty color or something.
It's blinking. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's glowing and kind of blinking a little
Then
bit.
I'm going to pocket it, and then I'm going to head back upstairs. And my goal with that is I'm going to probably leave that compass on the Sapphire Dawn, whatever happens. And Ace is essentially rallying what allies we have to one
Sweet.
location.
You get back on deck after doing that. You see Nanette there, and you see Gianni up in the rigging, singing a work song of some kind, getting the crew to go and all of that. And Keg sees you, and he says, "The longboat is ready." When he sees you.
Thank you, my friend. And I shake his hand, and I have a bag with me, and I head for the boat.
Yeah. And Keg shouts after you. He says, "Don't die. That'd be a real pain in the ass."
Thanks. I can always count on you. Is Nanette making that face?
She sort of
Probably.
is. And I doubt Ace would
Probably.
see it, although she's got specialized or whatever.
I
she
do have
probably can,
specialized.
but
I'm probably like, do you have something you would like to say? Are you ready to chew me out?
clearly,
is that what this
it's clearly
is?
not important enough to tell me, so be on your way.
It is important enough, but you told last we talked you were mad at me, so I was just gonna let you have your afternoon.
All right, well, have fun with whatever you're doing that's not dying.
Always a
Keg's like,
pleasure. Nanette.
"Alrighty then, I need to go and do stuff over here." Like Keg's just like,
I'm just gonna go talk to Stormrider because I think Kai is in trouble. That's all.
Well, why did you bloody say that? That's important information.
I did say it, just not to you. I am sorry. It's fine.
You should go.
All right.
Wow.
And I go.
Good luck.
"All right, yeah. So you get in your longboat then?"
Yep. And I start rowing.
Okay. Alrighty, Andreas. Hour goes
move-
by.
You know, again,
An hour.
like I said in chat, it wouldn't be so bad if they didn't have a 7-year-old bard in the corner that plays the same 5 songs on repeat.
Uh-huh. It's like, oh, pity from Ipanema goes walking.
With commercial ads? Oh wait, we paid for that one. Oh, that's impressive. Okay.
The bar just all of a sudden goes, try Karis shipping. We ship it. And, like everyone's like throwing stuff at it. Anyway, yeah. So about an hour goes by. You're moving, somewhat. I mean, you have choices. You can just kind of chill the way it's going and just hope, this moves faster. You can try and do something to help it move faster. You can leave. I mean, you have all sorts of options available to you. Up to you, to what you would like to do.
What do the people look like in front of me?
Merchants, business people, the type of people who have to deal with bureaucracy.
Oh yeah, the fun stuff.
Not as high standing as your family, you don't think? And some of these people are probably just couriers. Like, they work for the company and their whole job is to sit and bullshit like this.
Yes.
And like, papers and stuff, because the managers are, like, too fucking important to do so.
How many people are there between me and the front of the line?
Maybe 10 or so?
Perfect. Andreas will kind of speak and be like, I will pay anyone who lets me cut in front of them 5 guilders. And I do mean per person.
He's so cheap, man.
They kind of, yeah, actually, that's my face. Was probably their
They're
face.
already
They're
getting
like,
paid. I'm giving them more.
"Guilders."
Yeah, but they
5
want
guilders.
way
That's
more.
an insult.
But keep in mind, they have been standing there as well. So, you're probably going to need to give up a little more than 5 guilders.
10
5.
guilders apiece. These are working people, not freaking, multi-millionaires like the Count. This is not exactly. I'm not exactly asking for. I'm giving them like 3 months' wages. We do toss around money like it's like there's no tomorrow, but in this time period, a few guilders is a shit ton of money to someone who, works. They make for like tenths of guilders a day.
Right. Well, I mean, they're not like. I mean, they're workers and they work, so I mean, they're not exactly like destitute, but
It's free
All right,
money
let
to
me
let me
see.
go in front of them.
Let's see how they respond.
I'll
We'll
do
leave it up
convince
to
roll.
chance. We'll leave it up to chance. Yeah, go ahead and do a convince. Why not? Why not? Sure. And I will roll against that, actually. And see if your offer of money is more important than them saving time. We'll just do raise per raise.
Sure.
How many did you get?
I got 4 with 1 left over.
All right. All right. They're a little reluctant, but eventually you manage to convince them. And you slowly buy your way to the front of the line.
10 guilders. 10
And
guilders.
I-
10 guilders.
Yeah.
10 guilders.
Yeah. And you get to the counter, and there's this woman sitting behind the counter, and she's got glasses, and she's like, "Can I help you?"
And I slap down my sheave of paperwork. Filing for privateer's license for the Belladonna.
That'll be 4 weeks, sir.
The forced form, and there's the expediting form. There's the.
Yeah. So you sit there while she's looking through this thing. Obviously not in any kind of hurry.
Yep.
Um,
Andreas knows what he's about.
and-
He sped up the only part he could.
Yeah. All right, cool. So you're doing that. And okay, then where were we? Ace. Okay. So you're rowing and it takes you a bit. But I mean, the Dawn would have let you know where they were. Just in case.
I'm
So,
sure once I'm within a mile, I can see.
Mhm.
They're there. That's why when you said the Whisper was only 5 away, I was like, well, shit, can I just stand on top of a mountain and
Effectively,
Yeah.
can I
No,
just
no,
get on the
I was
London Eye
trying to
and
think
point?
of capacity. My size scale was not exactly good.
No, don't worry about it. I'm shit at that kind of stuff. Good for you for making a number. I would have been like, I don't know, a number.
Yeah, some distance. Yeah, so eventually you come upon the Sapphire Dawn. You know, chilling out, trying to look inconspicuous.
They're
you
all
know?
having a great time.
Yeah.
And Ace is just like, once again, Ace just rows up on a boat that is fine, doesn't have any cause to worry about anything. And here comes this goddamn redhead just like rolling up with like, you know, at least I'm sober this time, I guess. And
Yeah. Right.
so, yeah.
But you get close enough, and you can
Road
see
down
that
the
you're
road.
spotted. Yeah, you can see that you're spotted, and a couple ladies look over the thing at you, and they're like, "Oh," and one of them rolls down the rope for you.
We've not met,
and
but I need to talk to your captain.
Yeah, we recognize you. And yeah, they
Great.
send you down like a ladder and something to tie off the longboat.
Thank you.
Because you've kind of seen the crew, at least a little. So I mean, Ace is kind of hard. And one of them runs off to get together. So you get on the Dawn, and the Dawn. I mean, you'd seen it, but you've never really been on deck of it before. And it is very nice. Everything is in well repair. Everything is looks like it has a place there. And though you hear crew going around, they are not shouting, actually. They're using almost exclusively hand signals to indicate what they're supposed to be doing.
Well,
This is paradise.
This is really nice. This is really fucking nice. Well, Ace mentions this while she's doubled over with her hands on her knees. I like this. Yeah, the loudest sound on the boat is Ace just trying to breathe. Oh. Ooh, I almost lost it about a half a mile out there. But I just kept going. I just had to keep going. No.
She's got that stitch on her side, lungs burning, you know, that whole deal.
At this rate, Ace is going to be showing off a different set of guns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Woo!
guys, I have some arms. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's what you're seeing. I mean, it looks like, very little clutter on the deck. Like I said, everything has a place, very little clutter. And like I said, they have managed to not be shouting at each other. And you're not quite sure if they do this all the time or just when they don't want to be noticed, but it is a thing that you are seeing right now.
yeah.
You know, you see if someone up in the rigging and, you know, you see some hands and the person nods and goes over and does something and all of that.
Does Ace recognize any of that? Like, are they accepted hand signals, or does it look like this is a?
It seems like their own
chip
code. It seems
Nice.
like, yeah, it seems like it's their
Hot.
own
Okay.
kind of code.
Lots of Dexy fingers on this ship. Okay.
Yep.
Good to know.
And since it's all ladies, I mean, we just got something covering the top there. That's it. And they're just walking around.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Nope.
Ace
Yeah.
is really trying not to be a dog right now, so she's just yeah.
Kaya, remember,
Yeah.
remember.
You know, if somebody is standing nearby, she's like, "Can I? You guys are being real quiet, so I feel like I'm in a library, but this is a nice thing going here. You clearly don't have little kids running around on the ship, do you?" 'Cause
Yeah.
I trip over a toy
No,
every
and
other
she-
day.
Yeah. And the sailor you're talking to, actually a very short, petite woman, but very compact. Like, this is wiry, like, kind of, and she doesn't whisper back to you, but she just talks in a regular, non-boisterous, non-chatty voice.
Inside voice.
Yeah, inside. Yeah, she says, yes, well, we found it's a little bit easier when we tend to hide, when we can communicate quietly.
That's really, really smart. The last ship I served on, we had not nearly as extensive as this, but we did have quiet protocol. No, this is nice. My name is Ace. What's yours?
Son of a bitch.
What is this face, Allah? Don't.
God damn it.
The worst. You gotta name them yourself, Rue. Them's the.
Okay. This is a Ruth. We're gonna call her Ruth.
Ruth. Okay. Ruth. Awesome. Cool.
What nationality does Ruth? I mean, I don't want to guess. So it's Ruth, Abernathy, and she can either be Avalonian, or anything that she wants to be, because
Avalonian.
those are
Yeah.
common names.
Yeah, and you get that she's probably one of the riggers. Be it what the tools she has on, and
Yeah.
all of that.
Those
You
tools.
know.
Yeah, I was taking note of the tools.
Yes, obviously.
It's all. Go ahead.
Yeah. So after you say Ruth is just and you're tight, and then Stormrider comes onto the deck, and
Oh, Mom.
she
And I
sees
stand
you.
up a little straighter.
Yeah.
I take off the casual eyes.
Yeah, and she's back in casual. I mean, you get the sense that she wears casual most of the time. She only pulls out the when she has to, like if she's trying to make an impression.
Yeah, and Ace is
all
probably
the
still in the
accoutrements.
fancy. Ace is probably in the fancy ship from brunch still.
Yeah.
She didn't get any food on her. Maybe a little blood, but it'll wash.
Yeah, she looks at you, kind of looks you up and down, and has a kind of curious look on her face. Now, remind me, did you tell her to call you Ace? Does she call you Amelia? Did you introduce yourself as that?
I believe.
Does she know that name?
Does she know Ace?
Uh-huh. Okay.
She probably does, but she is free to call me whichever. I would have made that known to her. Whatever she wanted to call me, it was appropriate.
Okay.
Ace was okay.
Well, I think she's the type of person who would respect your trade name, since you are a sailor.
I am around
and
other
all of that.
crewmen, too. Maybe in private it'd be different.
Yeah, if it's in private, it might be Amelia or daughter or whatever. But, since you're on the deck and all of that, she walks over and she says, Ace, did something happen?
Yeah. Yes. Are we good to talk here about family matters?
Come with me. And she walks, and you're still watching the crew go around, taking real no note. Captain's business is captain's business, so they are just continuing. And she takes you down into the captain's quarters, and her quarters, very Castilian. it's nice. Um, and it is decorated. But you feel like it's also very functional space as well. Um, that, it's not like this, with all these crazy things in the cabin's quarters and all of that sort of stuff. It's efficient, but well appointed and very much in Castilian style, And you do note that there is on the wall. I mean, Ace's eyes being what they were. You see on the wall near where the bed is that it looks like a sketch of your father, a portrait done in charcoal or paper and pen of some kind.
I do not mention that yet. But I take note, and I'm like, wow, look at that dashing eye. That's my dad. Okay.
Much, and honestly, the portrait has like this smile on his face that you probably haven't been privy to
No,
for a long
that
time.
is
It looks
that
very
is an appropriate smile. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, this is Thayan pornography almost. So of my father,
He's
I
got
don't.
clothes and stuff.
Sometimes that's not what you need.
I had to stop looking at amateur Thayan porn because my mom showed up.
Good lord. Oh my god.
I'm
That
sorry.
was supposed to be this romantic thing
It is. It is. It is. I'm uncomfortable. Okay. Jeez. Okay.
Okay. What? God damn it. So as soon as she gets in the room and shuts the door, she turns to you and she goes, "What's going on? What's happening?"
So, Kaya reached out moments ago. I mean, literally within the last hour, and we were cut off, and that's never happened like that before. It was a little painful, and he was giving me very specific information, and I'm pretty sure that he knew that something was about to happen. And I don't know what. I'm not saying he's dead or anything like that. And she starts to kind of hyperventilate at the word dead because she hasn't wanted to say that. I, at least I'm really, really hoping so. But
Immediate. Take a breath. It's okay. We'll fix it together. Okay. We'll fix it together.
you said you had a
Yes.
you said you had a plan for getting him when we talked last, and I didn't ask what it was, and I thought we had had more time.
So did I. I mean, what did he say when he messaged you?
I'll be honest, he rarely says anything, but like verbally, but he gave me coordinates for where they are. I can give them to you. I can put them on a chart. It's not far. It's incredibly close. Incredibly close, which makes sense because we did just have brunch with Giovanni Villanova this morning. But that's a whole other thing.
What?
Yeah. Honestly,
Alright.
it's less important than this right now to me. The other stuff is important to other people, but this is what's important to me.
I see. Okay. Like I said, we will fix this. Okay? We're gonna fix this together. Now I'm assuming your marks work like me and my brothers, your uncle. We have the same, correct?
I do, and I know so little about it, but I when we talk, I feel like a warmth, and if I concentrate and focus on it, we can swap perceptions, I guess. And then we just communicate. I usually me with words, usually him with any number of ways that he doesn't have to speak. We've written letters, things like that.
Very similar. All right. All right. Well, come with me, and she'll walk out of the cabin, and we're gonna leave that there for a second, and we'll go back to Nanette and Gianni on the ship. Um, what are y'all I assume still helping out? Nanette, do you talk to Gianni, or are you just like going back down below, or?
Honestly, she can't offer much help besides micromanagement. And the best thing she can do is just to make sure that all the supplies are stocked and loaded, and basically do like ship bureaucracy to make sure that we have a expeditious retreat whenever we're ready to go.
Alrighty. Okay, and Gianni.
For the most part,
Same?
it's like, yeah, I mean, his priorities are just getting the ship underway. That's it at this point.
Alright. Cool. Alright. And Andreas, okay. This lady finally finishes all of this. Gets a big stamp. Puts it on it. You'll hear about this as soon as possible. And she, like, shoves it into this big pile of paperwork and sets it on top.
Shit.
Next!
Andreas walks out.
Mm-hmm. Alright. You headed back to the ship. Going back inside.
Kind of defeated, honestly. That had been his goal the entire time, was to make them legal and in this port, and he basically just got fucking. So he's kind of had his head hanging low, and kind of takes the horse and just, instead of riding the horse back, he walks the horse back to the ship.
The GM uses bureaucracy. It's super effective.
Yeah, it was the
Oh.
bureaucratic,
Yeah,
bureaucratic method.
yeah.
Very effective, but also terrible.
Hey, look, maybe they'll get to it. You never know.
And he pays for his time with the his rental and heads back to the ship and goes to check what's going on. What's the status?
All right. So. All right. So Keg, Keg sees you come back, and he says, we're working as far, as fast as we can. We should be still pretty good to go at night tide, if we keep going at this pace. However, I did want to talk to you and the other two of your friends for a moment, if I might.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so he's asking for, like, Gianni and Nanette to be there, too.
Oh, okay. Sure. I'm assuming, is Nanette preparing the infirmary for...
I'm sure. Somewhere.
Send Pip and Squeak to go to fetch them, to fetch her and get Gianni down from the rigging, and meet me in
Yeah.
my cabin.
Yeah. You're called down from the rigging, Gianni, by Andreas, who's returned. And then Nanette, you're in the infirmary doing all that, and you hear the knock, and then Pip puts his head around, and he's like, Miss, they want you on the captain's quarters.
What? Thank you very much, Pip. And she ruffles his hair and goes about her way.
You hear him mutter, last time she gave me candy. As you
He's
walk
he's
up.
too old for candy. Squeak gets the candy now.
He is not!
All right, all right. She like pulls out a little tin, tosses it over her shoulder to him.
And then that's the
He
fire.
grins and goes off. Yeah. Yeah, so once you all get into the captain quarters, Keg says, so, what, you know Ace as well as I do. I've sailed with her for a while now. And I'm a little concerned. I know she went to see the Sapphire Dawn. I'm pretty sure. You told Keg that, right? That's where you were going?
I did. I
Yeah.
was pretty frank with Keg. I don't keep very
Yeah.
many secrets from him.
Mm-hmm. She says, and while I don't doubt Storm Rider's abilities, and he knows that that's your mom, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder if there's something that we can do to help somehow. I have a feeling if I know Ace at all, they're going to try to go get her brother.
How else are we supposed to go? We don't know where they are. Or...
We-
Our ship still needs hours of work.
Well, she was going to the Dawn, and we know where the Dawn is. She was going to the Dawn first, the Sapphire Dawn first.
Andreas will look down at the maps on his desk and go,
Mm-hmm. You can see
know where
the
they're
circle.
I know where they're headed.
What are you saying? Are you saying that she was leaving to go after Silent Death right now? That's why she got
She's-
on that boat and left?
Andreas,
No, she-
explain that to you, Gianni. Or
No, Andreas hasn't gotten there yet.
Okay. Okay.
Explain it later.
No,
Yeah,
No,
you can explain it later.
no. She went to go inform her mother of the change in the situation. They. I understand it's family. If they go, they go. There's nothing we can really do to stop
What
them.
the hell?
What would you expect me to do? Tie her up and throw her in the brig until
No,
we
but
get
this
underway?
is something that we talk about. This is something we don't just say, oh, well, if you're going, I kind of wish you well. I wish you the best of luck on, facing this villain who's got all these things. And
We didn't think she'd be okay. She is very hot-headed, but I didn't think she would run off after Silent Death by herself with her
I'm
mother.
not sure that that's what she intends to do.
I don't
I'm
think-
just concerned.
That was
So-
never
Because-
said.
No, it wasn't.
All Kake's saying is that I'm worried that they are going to do something. He doesn't know. He's just saying if she goes and informs, because Cake says, from what I understand, she has reason to believe that her brother, who's on the Whisper, is in trouble.
Yes.
And so she went to go inform her mother. And knowing Ace as I do, and from what little I know of Captain Stormrider, I'm concerned that they're going to go and do something about it. And I'm just wondering if there's anything we can do.
well, other than get this boat out of the port, get everybody on the other ship and go, that's about it. I mean, we can't just all poof and appear on Silent Death's ship. I mean,
Even
that's
if we
that's
could,
the
we
most
can't anymore.
extreme. The other side is get
You
this
do
ship.
remember... Oh, I was just going to say, you do remember she did talk to Vivian
Yeah.
before you left Nanette. I don't know if that's anything Nanette will comment on, but she remembers. I could only assume that that might be what that was about.
Thank you,
I mean, it wouldn't be a
GM,
bad
for throwing me a
conclusion.
fucking bony.
I was gonna bring it up, but okay. Out of curiosity, Silent Death's location, as we know, circled, is it actually close to land? Like, are they docked in their own way,
They're
or
in a
is it?
cove. Yeah, they're in like a cove.
We don't
Yeah.
need to take the sheep. A couple horses would get us faster than they work on this boat.
If that's what
How
we
far
need
away
to
is
do.
it?
It's like 5 miles.
It's a couple hours away.
Nanette's gonna poke her head out, and I'm assuming one of the cabin boys is there anyway, and ask them to go fetch Mademoiselle Vivienne.
hold on.
If
Okay,
anybody can
yes, get
communicate with
Vivian.
Ace.
I just
Yes.
opened at the door, like with glass, like a glass or something, and they're
There's a
just like,
mug to the door.
what's going on in there? Go ahead, Andreas.
Hissing?
All right, all right. While I do believe that the Sapphire Dawn would go after the Whisper on its own, I don't know if Ace would leave us. I think it's still a completely possibility, but Ace did leave stuff here so that she could get back via some method. So before we start jumping, she said she was going to. She said she was going. Not that she was going to join their crew to do that. She was informing her mother of the change, and I believe that Ace and I have enough of an accord that if she was going to go after her brother with the Sapphire Dawn, she would have told me. She would have said, "Here, I tender my resignation. Keg is your thing. I'm going with the Sapphire Dawn. So please, let us give her the same trust that we gave you, Nanette, and we have given each
Wait.
other."
First of all, please stop patronizing me. Secondly, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if her mother has mentioned that they have a plan, and Ace has mentioned it before, what could change is that her mother may need to implement the plan, and Ace has no choice but to go along with it. That is why I've summoned Vivienne, so she may communicate with Ace. Ace spoke to her before she left. I don't know
Ace-
the nature of their message, but I'm assuming Vivienne has a way of contacting her.
Yes,
So you all could theoretically send a message.
Yes, I specifically asked Ace to take a marked object with her.
Then there's nothing to worry about. We can communicate with her and confirm what their plans are, and if necessary, if we cannot get the ship ready in time for them to make their plans, we might be able to make it by horse. Is all I'm saying. If there is a dire emergency with her brother, then we should act quickly. She would do the same for me, and has done the same for me. Sorry we parted on less nice words, but it didn't seem like she needed my help at the time. But if the situation has changed, then we will make ready.
I do agree with that. Let us do whatever we can to find out whatever we can so we can act on it. Because honestly, I feel like there would have been a lot more drive if we knew that such things were immediate. Such as when we all got left for Ninette's parents.
I just hope it wasn't the result of what happened earlier today.
I don't know.
Monsieur Villanova may very well be sending a message.
He did have a Dubois with him.
One of them.
It's true, there are several.
So,
There are.
Most of them are cute. It's a problem.
yeah, I'm glad that we got the boy one.
Keg,
Okay. Yes.
could the rest of the repairs
I was just expressing my concern as an officer.
Understood.
I don't mean to
understand.
cause discord here, but
Keg, I have questions asked. Please let me ask them.
okay.
Could the rest of the repairs be made with us underway?
Theoretically, yes.
Okay, good enough. Is the current depth of the harbor enough that we could get the boat underway if towed? I don't know if the wind's with us.
I'd have to go check. I haven't gotten a status recently because we were docked, but I can go and check on that.
And we were probably dry docked because we had underside damage from the Kraken.
Yeah, I thought we were raised up.
But I can go see. how fast we can get us down into the water, and if we could make it out of the port.
If we can, let's try to get underway instead of this evening within the next few hours.
Well, we'll have to send a message to those who took Miss Primvera up on her offer.
This situation has changed. I'll
Raise the
send the boys.
and raise the flags that call all hands back to ship.
Well, I sent them
Alright,
to a
then.
bathhouse. It was supposed to improve crew morale since we were already leaving sooner than expected, but even now it's well, we'll try to get everyone back on the ship in a few hours.
Just
Captain's orders.
above the table suggestion was Vivian beckoned?
Yes.
What did you? Yeah. So
Yes.
she's going to arrive while this discussion is going on. Okay. So Nanette's saying that, and Jason said, "If he's guys says," and Gianni, what are you doing? Or what are you? Are you just listening, or doing something, or interjecting? What is Gianni doing? How is he feeling? I guess.
He is frustrated. He's angry to know that Ace's family's in danger. He's frustrated that information didn't go all the way around, and he feels like we're caught with our pants down, and he doesn't like that feeling. So he's antsy, but at the same time, he's like, I got to do what I can to fix this, and so he's like, you two make. He's pretty much gonna be like, you two make the call. Figure out how this gets done. I'm getting back into whatever I can do to help the ship get underway. And
My
yeah,
husband always says that if you're caught with your pants down, the only thing to do is dance. Alrighty then. Okay, so Nanette, I'm assuming you're sending one of the boys to go to the bathhouse and let them know, hey, you gotta come back. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. We are shipping off sooner than even we previously expected. Make it up to you later.
Yeah.
Next
and
port, certainly.
yeah. And Keg will give Gianni some things that he can do to help them, get down into the water and all of that stuff. Packing up ropes, preparing, battening things down to prepare to be lowered, all that sort of stuff. Andreas, I assume you're helping to do the same thing? Or what are you doing?
Andreas is probably talking with he probably immediately heads over to the dockmaster, whoever it is, and informs him that they need their dry dock flooded as quickly as possible. And then so those procedures can get started, and then makes his way back to the ship. Probably after and then probably writes a quick note to Vivian to have her pass along, informing of the update of trying to get underway in that afternoon.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, Vivian shows up, and you request, can you send a note to Ace? And she says, oh, of course. And write it. Oh, so what are you writing to Ace? What are you telling her?
It's probably just a short letter saying preparing to get underway this afternoon. Request the Sapphire Dawn wait on us. It'll be easier to blockade the cove you described with multiple ships than it will be with one.
Okay. So you do that. Vivian, opens up a small thing. So you're about to leave the room with your mother, Ace, when you hear like the telltale sound of Porte magic, but very quiet, not very loud, and then a note or a piece of parchment falls, comes out, and you read exactly what it says.
Um, and Ace looks at this. She's like, I, I just said I was coming over here to talk to you. They act like we're leaving. so may I call you Mom? Mom, I
Of course.
need, what do we need to do? Because I don't think we should try to go alone. If you say that we have to, then we have to. I can get there really fast. They don't let me pilot very often, but I can. Did you want to go ahead and head that way? And then I go back to my people, above the table. I have forgotten if we ever got a name for her. Porte Mage.
We'll call her Brigitte. Why not?
Oh, that works for me. All right. I don't know if Brigitte can carry me back. She can't send a note because I have the gun with me. But we do need to send something. I do want to take something back that they can use that you can use to contact us there.
Mm-hmm.
At least as long as I'm on the ship. And but when I'm not on the ship is what I mean.
Yes. Well, it does seem to be the best if we can have the help of the Belladonna.
I mean, that's why we asked for your alliance.
Yes.
I've got a question that's kind of uncomfortable. Maybe. Do you have someone on the Whisper?
Well, I was getting to that. But, as you know, we have been after Silent Death for quite a while. I've been looking for him. And part of our plan was that our person aboard the Whisper was going to be able to help us get aboard and protect Kaya if need be while we got him off ship.
Can I ask for their name?
Well, I'm not quite sure what name they're going under at this point, but her name is Julia.
Ace breathes a visible sigh of relief. She had been very afraid that she had perhaps shot their way in at brunch this morning. So I'm glad to know that that's not obviously the case at the moment. So she almost laughs. A little relieved. She's like, I will explain that to you later. That's wonderful. Okay.
But if the time has come and you believe Kaya is in danger, we may have to implement the extraction much sooner than we expected.
Do you have a way to contact Julia?
We have meeting places. We were a little concerned about using Porte Magic with Olivier Dubois on board.
Yeah. No, I would also be worried about that. Well, have I already showed her where they are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can assume so. Yeah, you took her and showed her. And y'all are walking and talking.
Okay. Can Brigitte get me back, and then we can rendezvous with you as soon as... The Belladonna has repairs that are still underway, but it was going to be done by evening tide. And I am very anxious, and I don't know if I can wait that long, but I don't want... If you have a plan to move right now, I need to at least tell them.
Well, I mean, my plan was, because they should be, and last we had contact, they were going to be near land. We weren't exactly sure quite where, but now you've shown us. I can only assume through Kaya.
Yes.
And our plan is certainly to give the signal when we are ready to receive Kaya and get him off the ship. And then Julia would be ready, and we were planning to be in and out without anyone suspecting we were there before we attack Silent Death.
I hate that this is the way my brain works. If they found out that he could communicate with me, do you think that they would give him bad information? To show me.
That would certainly be a Villanova move. I don't think it bespeaks to Silent Death or even Olivier Dubois. Well, maybe Dubois. But if Villanova has anything to say about it, then maybe.
I mean, I did.
If they find out.
I did. We did not have a amicable brunch today.
Well, and if your message got cut off rather quickly, that doesn't speak to a long-term subterfuge. At all.
No, but it was written on a piece of paper.
Quick action.
The coordinates were written on a piece of paper that he was holding when he contacted me, and then he was immediately cut off. It was very. It could have been. I don't know. I'm just. All that to say, are you familiar with Captain Kiera O'Connell?
I have heard of her.
I have.
Yes.
I have. We have had an alliance in the past. They rescued us after we got after the Utrecht was sank. I have a compass, and I retrieve the compass, and I show her, and it's, I'm assuming, blinking still.
Yeah, it's yeah,
and
gently.
It
It's
clearly
not like a brace, you know.
right,
it's just kind of.
It's a nice, like,
you know.
one of those old, like, Timex nighttime, like, glow-in-the-dark glows. Yeah, it's good color. And I show it. It's clearly got a mark on the back of it. We have a new Porte mage on the ship. Her name is Vivienne Monet. And she has marked this so she can communicate with this, because we have lost the use of our other Porte mages. I triggered this. This will tell the pot of gold where to meet and where to come find the compass. So I'm going to leave this here with you. Can Brigitte walk me back to my ship? And then we can rendezvous.
I believe so.
We can rendezvous. I can, at least hopefully in a few hours, maybe, we can get in a position where I can see you with a spyglass. And we can coordinate. We can at least rendezvous out in open waters where you are safe, and where we can then plan how to get where we're going. But I should have probably told you about the pot of gold sooner, but we've had them trailing the Whisper for a while now. At least that's what we think that they're doing still. But I don't want to do this by ourselves. I believe you and I could raise the whole damn ship. But that kind of thinking only gets me in trouble most of the time.
Well, that's very wise. That must be your father coming through.
It's, I have his nose and his brains, clearly.
Very well, then. We will get as prepared as we can. I will have leave the compass, and I will have Brigitte send you back to the Belladonna.
Ace looks uncomfortable about having to be walked to the Belladonna, but she's like, yes, that will be good. Can I, real quickly, ask above the table, when I got the coordinates from Kaya, I had already sat down to start mapping out where he had showed me before. Is it the same?
It's a little bit off, but not much. You assume they might have moved
Like
in
a day's
in
travel?
that time.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, they might have moved in that time. I mean, thinking upon it, you gather that he was giving the coordinates. It felt like a desperate, you know what I mean? Because he was always
Right.
so careful before.
Yeah.
So it feels like something happened, and he was trying to get you information, and who knows what. So.
Well, and that's how, above the table, that's how I took it last week. But the more that I thought about it, I was like, shit, it could be a bad thing too, and leave it to Ace
Right.
to decide to do a bad thing because she's emotional and thinks that nothing can happen. But
Right.
But yeah, so that's anyway. That's what I would do. So I'll take that as at least somewhat of a confirmation that what he told me was not a ploy by someone to lure us to the ship.
Alrighty, so your mom takes you down into the ship. Again, it looks the interior of the Sapphire Dawn is much the same as above. I mean, it's a bunch of women here, so it's, you know.
You're just trying to sell me on this great ship that's got a place for everything and everything in its place, and everybody's talking real nice, and they're barely wearing clothes, apparently.
I bet they smell nice too.
I bet they smell glorious, and Ace is just like, I'm trying to save my brother, and I'm really lonely.
Well, part of their stick that you know, and part of what they do is they kind of use all of that as a distraction to get information of ships that they're going to take on. So indeed, one of the rooms or one of the areas you go by has a bunch of clothes in it that are like of all variety, because these are what they use to like go into town and get information. And, you know, like, oh, you're sailing that route? Wow, that sounds so dangerous.
Yeah. If we weren't in an emergency situation, Ace would totally play dress up just to throw people off when she got back to the other ship.
There you go.
What the fuck are you wearing? It was a wild afternoon.
Where did you go? Like, what the hell? All right, yeah, so she takes you down and she finds Brigitte. And you know, she listens to this reminder saying, I need you to send Ace back to the Belladonna. And, you know, Brigitte's like, oh, yes, Captain. And so she turns around and the telltale, you know, screaming and porting. And the cold.
Ace is already like, just got her eyes like shut tight. She's just doing this.
This is, you know, visions flash through your head of like walking through this and like being almost drowned in between, and the voices and all of that stuff, you know. And everything. Yeah, the cold hits you. And the Brigitte, you know, takes your hand and, you know, informs you to close your eyes and all of the usual
I do
warnings.
I do also warn her. I'm like, I am so sorry. I have not had good run-ins with this place, and I have no idea what this is gonna do. So, been here before.
Brigitte kind of, you feel Brigitte kind of her shoulder kind of, you know, like.
I'll tell you later over a drink, maybe. Let's get her over.
She pulls through you into the place between places. And like I said, cold. Freezing cold again. And the voices start immediately. Like at first you wouldn't be able to like hear, right? But like, you hear the voices and they start saying stuff like, you're never going to be able to save him.
Above the table,
And
I say nothing. I keep my lips pursed and I just growl.
yeah. Yeah. You're never going to be able to save him. And you're never going to convince her to like you. Yeah.
They threw me out of a fucking crow's nest last time. I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah. And it's like that the whole way. I'm gonna have you go ahead and we're gonna do a wits and well, no, we're gonna do.
You get a mark, and you get a mark.
You get a mark,
and you get a mark.
It's all right. That's all right. Now maybe Ace and Annette can commiserate over their over their shitty marks.
We're gonna do resolve.
I take it resolve. That's not a case. That's not the case.
We're gonna do a resolve and tempt. Because you're trying not to react You're
Okay.
trying not to give any indication that this is bothering you. You're trying to get through as quick as possible, so you're trying to resolve against those words and that temptation to snap back or do something.
Okay.
You will
Just-
need, let's see, 4.
All right. I'm gonna spend my 1 hero point to get 1 more die. And we're gonna yeah, well, okay. I got 2 with 2 left over. I was only rolling 5 dice. That is a real ace is not.
So what? So, yeah. Okay. So what does Ace do? What is her breaking point? What does she do about it?
Okay, so based on previous experiences in the place between, I do believe that Ace is resolute enough to keep her eyes closed. She does not want to be stuck there. That is like a mortal fear that she has. But she cannot shut her goddamn mouth. So she will start to sass back at the place between.
Okay.
And the
The
breaking
Davis is like, my child!
the
Grace is
place
so proud.
Yeah, the place between the breaking point where that would bring her. The thing about Nanette would not break her because she's like, yeah, probably. The thing about her
that
brother
makes sense.
pisses her off if they start saying things like, you just found her, but you're gonna lose her. Like referring to my mom, referring to my brother, stuff like that, because those are the things that she has like worked. Those are the goals that she's actively sought after for the last couple years. Those are the ones that, especially if they keep pressing it, or they mock her or the crew for anything that they've done in the place between before, she's gonna get really, really pissy.
How about
Too late.
the place between places sits and goes? Isn't that interesting? Look at the big, tough gunner. Nothing but a mommy's girl. And that mommy's never gonna love her the way she wants to be loved.
You know what?
like
You stupid son of a bitch. You don't even have a mother, so suck it. Get me out of this.
You feel Brigitte like grab, like she's like grabbing out, like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Sorry.
When you open your mouth to talk,
Oh, fuck.
cold rushes like into your mouth.
Okay.
And it feels like if you like you just took like a bunch of ice cubes
Like
and
dry
just,
ice and just shoved it in my face.
shoved it in your mouth. Yeah.
Ouch. Okay.
So you're gonna take 4 wounds from that.
All right.
Not kind of dramatic, but pretty close.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. And then, with that being said, you finally stumble out into and onto the ship, and you are now on the Belladonna with Brigitte, and yeah, and Brigitte, are you okay? What happened?
Brigitte says that?
Yeah. She's as soon as you guys are through in the portal, you've kind of pushed through that barrier, and now you're on, and you hear her, feels warm around you now, and you can hear her go, what happened?
It's been a very stressful day, and they, you know how they are, and they push buttons, and they pushed a button, and I was stupid. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Are you okay? It didn't do anything to you because I fucked up, right? I don't know how this works.
I am fine. They seem to be more concentrated on you than me.
It's because of the people I choose to hang out with, I think. But
Ah. Well, I shall leave you then. I need to go to attend to my duties. And here is your item, so that they have something on the
Okay.
ship now.
I will-
It's like a, yeah.
I will.
It can be what you want, like a
Okay.
weapon or a supply or whatever.
I'll just
It's
yeah.
just like an
I'll
item.
figure out what it is. It's something, and I will kind of just lightly take her wrist and just thank you for bringing me back. I don't know how you all do this so often, but I really do appreciate you making this sacrifice for me, and my mother clearly trusts you very much, and that makes you very important to me as well.
You're welcome. Yeah, she looks a little stunned a little bit at all of that, and she says, "You're welcome."
Sorry, I'm in a weird place today. I'm being overly emotional. Have a good day.
And she'll turn around and you know and go back through to walk back. Where are you gonna go now, Ace? I assume back up top.
Yes. I will go and
All right.
I will find whomever is first. So wherever she dropped me off at, wherever her mark is, wherever she dropped me off at, whoever would be the nearest. We need a ship map and little pins on it to tell me where everybody is, so I can who would I
Yeah.
see first?
Yeah, I mean, I assume, you go up on deck and you can see Andreas there and Gianni, as well as Keg. You figure Nanette's probably somewhere doing purser stuff.
I will go and find Nanette because we left on awkward words.
Alrighty. You find Nanette, I assume, in the infirmary?
She's probably actually in the cargo hold doing just general maintenance and accounting stuff. Yay,
So
bureaucracy.
you find her. Yeah, so you
Yay.
find her in the cargo hold.
I'd knock on a joist.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you are back. Is everything alright then?
No, but I figured I needed to be here, and I figured we needed to set sail, and I needed to apologize. I just was trying to get something done, and I was upset, and that was not your fault. I was waiting for you to be upset with me, and so I just did it first. So I just wanted to clear that up. We don't have to talk about it anymore, if you don't want to.
Alright, I think there are things to talk about, but this is not the time, as you said. This is very pressing. Have you informed the captain that you are back?
I have not yet. I came here first.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm sorry we had difficulties this morning. We'll talk about it another time. Let us focus on getting the ship ready to go.
Right.
Yes?
Right. Yep.
Mhm.
Is that still is it still 6 hours?
No,
I've
we
been gone maybe an hour and a half, I guess.
yeah, we are pushing through. Basically, as soon as you left and Keg voiced his concerns, we started pressing to leave as soon as possible.
Keg voiced concern.
Well, yes, he was concerned about your state. I know you wouldn't just leave us without any word, but honestly, sometimes it's better knowing.
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't going to leave. We do have a plan. I have also Well, do you have a minute? Can we just talk about this all at the same time? I really hate having to do this over and over again in different rooms.
I'll join you. Just down.
Maybe like
your,
in
your legs are
10 minutes.
fast. Yes, sure. Cool.
Do you need help?
Um,
Are you sure?
Please, go on ahead.
All right.
all right. So I assume everybody's gonna gather
Yeah, probably. in the captain's office.
together. All right. So let's go ahead and get y'all gathered together, and then yeah, and I assume like the captain's quarters, maybe.
Yes, that's probably
Seems
the
like
best.
as good a place as any.
And just above the table, because I need to know, are we going to take another break? My eyeballs are floating.
I was actually just typing to y'all
Sorry.
and letting you.
Sorry, peek behind the curtain, guys. Roxy has to pee.
I just assumed
I was
that's what
actually
the 10-minute was there.
Yeah, I was, yeah. So I'm gonna get everybody together, but we can stop now. I was gonna, but
Sorry, sorry.
we can go ahead and take a break now and do 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we will, go ahead and have this conversation and get them going to try to get Kaya off this ship and meet up with the Don and the Pot of Gold.
Alrighty. Thank
Maybe
you,
we'll
sorry.
leave the Commonwealth.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna try to get to this scene and hope for like a good line to like
Oh,
end on.
sorry.
Like, oh, we're
I am.
gonna go
Yeah.
after
That's the
the
second
bird
week in
and-
a row that I've been like, I really have to go. Can we just break, please? I can't be with
Yeah.
you right now. I'm sorry.
It's all right. We out?
All right, we'll be back.
Welcome back aboard, everybody. Here we are. Hopefully, everyone's bodily functions have been taken care of, and we are hydrated, and all of that stuff. So we are now prepared for this scene where they have all come back together. Ace has come back to the ship and has spoken with Annette a bit and has gathered everybody because she doesn't want to be telling the whole damn story 4 or 5 times. So, that's what we're doing. Yeah, it changes every time.
Ace is her own bad telephone game.
Yeah. So we're in the captain's quarters, okay? And, yeah. Go right ahead. Everybody is gathered. Ace.
So, thank you for letting me go, Captain. I did not, I know my actions were a bit rash, but, thank you for trusting me to do so. We'll get the longboat back, I'm sure. So, I have, just to let you know what I've done. since I've been gone, I did tell Stormrider, and she did have a plan for extracting Kaya. She's concerned that that can't happen on that same timeline anymore. She does have someone on the Whisper. Um, so, but I think with the coordinates that we've given and how close they are, I took it upon myself to alert the Pot of Gold that where we were. Hopefully, they're not far. Um, if they're still tracking the Whisper, which I assume they are. Um, I just, but yeah, I think I told you guys that I had a compass that could tell them, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Things are
Yeah, I
fuzzy.
know you have that. Yeah.
But I did worry that perhaps the coordinates that Kai gave me were bad, but they also match a vision that he gave me yesterday. Um, so it's a little off, but I feel like it's just enough to move. I don't think he's dead. Um, Stormrider didn't seem to indicate that she thought that he'd be dead either. I don't know how we would know, but I don't know. I trust the feeling that it's not terminated. Um, and she does, I will say, when you guys are talking to her, she does continue to rub her wrist, hoping for any kind of like that little rub back that she used to get every now and again when they would do their little check-ins without doing the full visit. So she does kind of keep her hand there, almost as a coping mechanism or like a fidget mechanism. But yeah, so I thought that if we're going to do this, then we need everybody, and right now those are the only allied ships that I know that we have. And I thought it would be best if we all came to one location. So I left the compass. The compass is marked. Vivian has marked the compass. I left it there with Stormrider. So the Pot of Gold will find them. If we can get underway, as soon as we can get underway, I will head up to the Crow's Nest, and I can signal as soon as they're in sight. If we need to deliver any messages. And quite frankly, Captain, once we are underway and we set heading, I would like to take the wheel.
Of course. The first thing we need to do is when the pot of gold is spotted, we need to get between her and the Sapphire Dawn.
Okay. And what? I'm not disagreeing. I just would like to know why.
Because the pot of gold doesn't know that the Sapphire Dawn's working with us, and the Sapphire Dawn is a known pirate.
This is probably true. I think we can get to the Sapphire Dawn before the Pot of Gold can.
Probably, but just yes, in case.
It'll be okay.
I would hate for there to be any misunderstandings.
I agree. Yeah. We'll figure it out. I probably should have thought of that, but I think it's okay. I trust that we can get there fast enough.
Most of the crew is back. I'm assuming we've had no issues with the Dockmaster letting us leave early.
Not so far. I can tell you as the GM, not so far. You're maybe about 30 minutes from being able to pull out, from being able to leave. I know, Rue. Okay, stop.
I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to. I saw the
Get
face.
Here,
Yeah,
to
get
avoid-
underway.
As I say, to avoid future Rue faces, the term is get underway.
Get underway, yes. So in that half hour, does anybody want to do anything particular before you leave the shore behind? This would be the opportunity to do so.
Yes. I have something to drop off. I will head. I will. A nice ornate case. That was dropped off at my office before everyone got there by one young Squeak, and I will head down to find Annette with it.
Okay. Nanette, Andreas finds you, and he has a case of some kind.
He hands it over. It's about 3-ish feet long.
Thank you. I guess she opens it to see the
Uh,
sword cane.
Yes.
And it's arcane.
They
Nice.
you seem to be needing one, and being able to carry a blade hidden on you, but also have other practical uses is always a good thing. And I figured that the Blood Rose of the Sea should also have a blade that properly represents her.
This
The
is
head
nice,
of the
thank
cane
you.
is a carved rose.
Yeah, Nanette is politely saying, "This is nice, but I hate it." Thank you. This is just a reminder that she is kind of crippled right now, and she's not taking it well, but she's hiding it behind the veil of Montaigne.
She'll come around, Andreas. She does it to me all the time. Hard to get.
Don't worry, that's just Nanette.
What do you
It's
get? The
just
girl who
Nanette,
has
she's-
everything.
She's processing the injury poorly, and just yeah, she's like, this is very thoughtful of you.
By the way, how is it doing?
It is very painful, thank you.
Thank you for reminding me of my pain.
Been there quite a few times, so I hope your recovery is speedy.
Well, some rest would do it good, but no rest for the wicked, as it were.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sure you have other duties to see to.
Of course, yes. And how everything's, all the supplies stowed?
Everything is as ready as it can be.
Thank you. Let's carry on. And he'll head out.
Ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got mouths to pay. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed.
Speaking of parcels,
Nothing in this world for free.
is Nanette's parcel gone? She basically checks in the infirmary if it's gone or not.
The one you mentioned earlier today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Perfect. Otherwise, I'd have to leave it at the dock, so it'd just be awkward.
No, it's gone. Gianni, do you, sir, do any? What would you like to do before you get on the seas again? If anything, you don't have to. It's just an opportunity to do something if you would like.
I go to Vidachi, Little Vidachi, and
Uh-huh.
I buy a unpommeled or not pommeled, but a stiletto that does not have a handguard. I'm basically looking for an assassin's
okay.
dagger.
Of course, easy enough to find in Little Vodachi. You just want one, or, you know, anything else? Just one? Okay.
Just one.
Alrighty. The GM brain is going, oh man, I'm gonna regret this later, probably, but alright, cool. Alright, so yes, you have this non-hilted assassin's blade. Robert would be proud.
Yeah, I get I buy a sheath to go with it that will attach to my wrist under my sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, cool. Last minute thing? Yes, no, yes, no, maybe? Alright.
I'm good. Ace has
Alright.
done whatever. She's just gonna stand and look stoically on the deck,
Yeah.
like
She's at the bow, looking
she's
out.
going to look the most fucking captainly as she's ever looked, and she's
Look.
not even the captain. She's gonna be out there
She's
with like
got one leg
one-
propped up.
one
you
knee
know,
up like
just
Riker,
you know.
and she's just looking out over the bowsprit. And she's just like, Kaya, my brother.
Look, Ace starts swinging a leg over chairs to sit down.
She
We're gonna have
could.
to have a talk.
She's a fucking
I mean,
beast.
she's
enough.
tall.
She's like 6'2".
She's
No,
always uncomfortable in whatever she's wearing. Like, come on.
Nothing is cut properly to fit a woman of my stature and shape. So it's just
Shopping in the wrong places.
Well, with
that's
with
for the
Ace,
off-season.
being quite the set piece on the deck, the belladonna is lowered is in the water now. The dry dock has been flooded, and the ship starts pulling out. It is mid-afternoon, and you're on your way in mid-afternoon and heading out of Fennec Solo. And you sail. The weather is nice. Like I said, it's mid-afternoon. And I assume Ace is looking out on the horizon, keeping an eye out.
Yeah, and still, I can't do it because I have to push to talk, but still, like, every now and again, rubbing a thumb over her birthmark, and yeah, but she's very much looking, and as soon as we are in open waters and not, like, being tugged or whatever, towed, tugged, I'm a child. I'm a child. And yeah, she's gonna take the wheel.
Awesome.
Ace takes the
Darn.
wheel.
Oh, as we're moving, Nanette's gonna ask Vivienne to keep an eye on her mark, just to see if it's going to stay in Fennec Solo. Just a
Okay.
little precaution.
Okay. Cool. All right, yeah. So sailing goes decently. It's relatively nice weather. You're sailing for a good couple hours, and dusk is settling. Would Ace be looking out as well and have somebody in the crow's nest? What would everybody be doing while you're sailing on to meet up with the Sapphire Dawn and the Pot of
Okay,
Gold?
so yeah, what I said was I would stay up in the crow's nest until I could see the Sapphire Dawn. And then, or at least, yeah, and I'll stay up there, and then I'll alert the senior crew on deck, so I assume Andreas, unless he's below decks, but definitely Keg and August, and I basically say, ship ahoy or whatever, and if we had any if Andreas had anything that he wanted to communicate, we might communicate the thing about the pot of gold. I guess that's one thing. Once I can see the Sapphire Dawn through a glass, do I see any indication of the pot of gold in the distance?
Not yet.
Okay. Then
You
I'm
catch up to the Sapphire Dawn,
Okay.
but you don't see the Pot of Gold yet.
okay. Then yeah, I'm going to tell that to Andreas, and I'm going to say I don't see the pot of gold yet. Good or bad. I think we'll be okay if they arrive, as long as we're here and we're flying some type of
Peace flag. Peace
Yeah.
truce flag.
yeah, they have no idea what kind of ship we're in. I don't even think they ever saw the Belladonna when they were in. I mean, we didn't have it yet, but I don't. Yeah, we haven't.
They'll
been
It's been a
probably
while
see
since you've seen them. Yeah.
They know we'd won it, so I'm assuming once they see a big, ostentatious Montaigne like design ship,
they
they're
might-
like, "Oh, that one. That's the
Yeah.
one."
We might have, because didn't we have a bunch of flags like for different countries?
Yes.
Captain, can we add the Inish flag below the Sarmatian one?
Of course.
And that'll also hopefully be an indication.
Yeah.
Are you gonna flag a message to the Sapphire Dawn as well?
I think we're gonna get close enough to retrieve the longboat. So if we need to talk real quick, because that was our longboat.
Yeah, no, yeah. I assume to bring it back eventually or get it back. It was easier
Yeah.
to come. Ace
Yeah.
is tired. Her guns are weak at the moment. Spent.
Yeah, the Sapphire Dawn would recognize the Belladonna, obviously. You guys have been sailing together
Sure.
for a little bit. You can pull, are you gonna like try to pull to the side and
Why don't we pull
kind of
aside and
parlay
put out? We can put out the gangplanks.
Mhm.
We can come alongside, and then we can walk back and forth. And then when the pot of gold shows up, because I don't want us doing anything until we get word from the pot of gold in some fashion.
Yeah.
And if it starts to like linger on, and okay, I'll just say this to Andreas: if we don't see the pot of gold in the next appropriate amount of time, that they should have been able to come back to us if they were still following the whisper. If they don't get here, then I'm going to say something's wrong, and we need to go ahead and make way.
How about I would like to get to the cove with darkness still upon us. So, I think the latest we can leave is, and we've said it's going to be how many hours of sailing?
Just a few.
In a few hours, yeah, 3 or 4.
So let's say if we don't see the pot of gold by midnight, we sail without them.
Under the cover of darkness is always probably a good height.
Because if we're gonna blockade her, I would rather us go as stealthily as possible.
I do.
Gianni, did you have something?
Uh,
I saw you
do
kind
I?
of putting
Well,
up your,
do I
like,
see
I would like
people
to-
talking?
I'm sure you do. We're
Yeah.
on deck.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say from above. 1 second. I want to see something. And I pop down and I look at the lines of fate. Yes, let me see her arm 1 moment. And I want to see if the thread of fate from her arm leads in the direction of the cove.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the good news is he is there. And the thread
Is
of
it
fate,
strong?
I have seen no wavering, and the thread of fate would be gone if there were an issue. I want to assure you, Ace, they are. And they're okay.
Thank you, Gianni. I do have an idea on how we might be able to track the pot of gold. Andreas, if you'll excuse me, I'll bring back word as soon as possible.
Of course. After you pass that along, I want you to get a few hours of sleep. Since you're gonna be at the helm while we're traveling at night.
Ace?
Yes, Captain. Yes, Gianni. Is this about when I told you I loved you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I wanted to ask if I could have the knife.
Sure. Yeah. You can have the knife, and I untie it and I hand it over, and all I say is, just when Captain O'Connell shows up, kind of hide it. I don't need her to know that she kind of gave it to me, and I know what it meant. Might have just been a friend thing. Might not have been a friend thing. Don't flaunt it, please.
I'm only giving this super rare Cyrnith artifact because we're bros. And we're BFFs.
Wait, Ace? Are you and O'Connell a thing?
Only in my dreams so far, but
Hey,
she did give me it is a nice present. It's dangerous as fuck. I'm surprised I haven't cut my arm off yet. Maybe that was the hope. Maybe we don't know.
hey, Ace, if we make it through this, because we're about to do something super dangerous, shoot your shot. And as a McYanson, you usually hit.
Thanks, Cap. And yeah, then
your dad pulled Storm Riders, so like, not.
I do have his nose.
And I mean, Kier was pretty receptive.
I know.
Shot down a few times.
She wasn't shot down. I hugged her.
No. Yeah. It was just very awkward.
She slowly lowered
that's
her
Ace.
into the depths of the water.
Yeah. Let's. But
Alright,
yeah. So I'll
so-
toddle off. I'm gonna look for Nanette, just for a second. But whenever
Nanette!
that can wait. That can wait.
Oh, Nanette's down in
You
the
go ahead.
galley. Yeah. Nanette's down in the galley, basically trying to smooth kind of everything back over after, cutting everybody's shore leave. Unplanned. So just trying to make good with the crew is what she's doing.
I will listen to her try to do this from the doorway of the galley.
She's largely impressing upon the need and kind of like, this is a family and this is an emergency, so we're dealing with that. But rest assured, everything that was promised, once we get out of this, we shall have it, and better. But first we have to deal with probably another altercation with Silent Death directly, so it was lovely serving with all of you.
Not dealing with something. Yeah, that goes over like a turd in a punch bowl for sure.
Well, she's trying to be direct that this is a very dangerous ship and they're gonna do dangerous things and well, this is the time has come, I suppose, and hopefully we know what to do. We have fought krakens and other ships before. We can do this together.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
For
just
sure.
pep talk and motivating and reassuring them that whatever happens, it's gonna be all right.
All right. So eventually, people disperse after Nanette has given her.
Can I get an
rousing
empathy?
speech.
Can I get an empathy read off like any of the sailors?
Sure.
Like, are they
All right, let's
okay
do
with this, or are they
convinced then,
irritated?
Nanette. Let's see how good Nanette did. So Nanette, it's then convinced, please.
She can do that. She can do that talking shit.
Yeah, we'll need three raises.
You have your 3 and a few left over if you really want them, but okay.
Sweet, yeah. So they seem mollified by what she's saying. For sure.
If Ace
As
sees
they
any that are kind of grumbly, she's just gonna like glare at them as they walk out.
Mm. Yeah, if they see that, they'll like straighten up. They'll like school their face. They'll be like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. Ace is like, that's what I thought. You know.
I try not to let Nanette see that because she doesn't need my help, but
Yeah.
Ace also doesn't like crew to be like uppity. It's like,
It's alright, everybody
Yeah.
can pity Nanette today. This is fine. Just pity Nanette day. She's handling it well.
Ace is not gonna make that fucking mistake again. So,
Yeah, go ahead, Ace.
Um,
Nanette is there. She's finished.
sorry. Good job, by the way. Shore leave, huh?
What? We
I-
were not supposed to
we-
leave quite this
I
early,
know.
but
We did discuss it. I'm sad that I missed it, but maybe next time. I do have a favor to ask. But I wanted to check with you before I asked Thomas. I don't want him to open anything. But I didn't know if he could feel his mark on the pot of gold and give me an idea of where it is.
I'm sure he can.
is that
He could
dangerous?
tell me that. Well, I hope not, but in theory, it shouldn't hurt him if he can still use pote.
In
and
theory, that
certainly he
seems
could.
pretty safe. Like a
Yeah,
little
it's-
less risky.
It is
Because
the
he's
only
not
thing
going
I could
through
do.
the in-between. He's just sensing it. So
I
that's
just
relatively low risk.
you have to understand that I don't want to. I don't want to kick that hornet's nest.
No, it is all right, and thank you for asking. But I think he's learned from previous mistakes, and tracking a mark, I think, should be something he can do without issue. You wish to know where the pot of gold is, I imagine.
I would. They're not here yet, and I don't see them on the horizon. And we have enough light that I would have thought that I could still, if they were approaching. And so I just, a little concerned. But
Well, I'll go with you too.
thank you. I was going to ask if you'd like to.
With everything going on, I hadn't really had a chance to check up on him very much since I got back from brunch.
Okay. Yeah. Please, after you.
All right. I will pause you guys there. So Gianni, what are you doing with this knife? Are you doing anything now, or is this a later sort of thing?
I will conceal it under my shirt on my back.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Please, God, do not cut yourself up.
Nope, I
Andreas, Oh, go ahead. Sorry, John.
oh no, I was
Didn't
just
mean
saying,
to cut
I'm
you
just
off.
I'm making sure that it is ready and available, but nobody will know it's there.
Perfect. Andreas, I assume you're doing captain-y things? Is there anything in
Andreas-
particular now that you're there with the Sapphire Dawn, getting ready to... Because you guys have come up on the Sapphire Dawn, and you all have gangplanks, all the way over. So you can kind of talk with Captain Stormrider if you would like. She's
Okay.
definitely going to check in with you.
So, yeah, actually, I was going to request permission to come on board her ship, and so we could go to her quarters and discuss tactics.
Yeah, you know the same thing that Ace noticed in terms of the way the ship looks, and it's efficient, and they are. You see some hand signals, but they're not trying to be as quiet as they were when Ace was there, as an above the table thing. So they are talking and shouting and stuff. Not quite as boisterous as on the Belladonna with the Vestin on board, but you do also see hand signals and things if people are too far away to like shout at each other. So you do note that.
Are the hand signals something unique, or are they like sign language?
They are unique.
Okay.
They're apparently unique to the ship. You have never
Okay.
seen this sort of thing before.
No, that was more like going if they use those, then while sound,
Yeah, you'd be able to understand.
that silent death would be
Yeah.
able to basically just go through their, like literally read their
Yeah.
tactics as they're doing them.
Right. No, it seems to be some sort of specialized system that they have going on, and it obviously does have something to do with the running of the ship, because you see somebody signal back and then do something, and vice versa. It's obviously instructions going back and forth.
Okay. So yeah, but yeah, he just lets it. He understands. Ships have their way of communicating. Their shorthand. We probably are developing a pseudo half Vestin, half Montaigne shorthand that's starting to be like a merging of the two languages.
Cool. Yeah, and then Captain Stormrider eventually comes up, and she says, Captain Karras.
Captain, I just wanted to discuss tactics. With the cove being, from what I saw on the map, we probably could blockade it. Now we also have. Did Ace inform you of the pot of gold?
She did. Yeah, she did mention.
Yeah,
it,
I
didn't she, when
mentioned
she-
that we have been allies, and I had left the compass, and the compass was going to bring.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, she did mention that.
So our plan was to stay here till midnight, because that way we could still approach the cove under the cover of darkness. We are equipped with black sails, which is so we are. I'm having those shifted over right now. I didn't want to equip them while we were in port, because that would be more than slightly suspicious. Seeing as we were in port under legitimate means. But so my thought is that we could blockade the cove, and that would allow us to fire in upon him, and then then we could also approach with small boats while still under the cover of darkness.
I see. She's thinking about that, about what you're saying, and she says, "Let's go look at the maps."
Okay. Oh, also,
And,
if I apologize because it slipped my mind. If the pot of gold approaches, let us, as you're in, as your ship is very identifiable, we should probably put up some kind of. We're currently flying the Inish flag. Maybe you also fly the Inish flag, just so they know you're friendly.
Yeah, she nods, and she gives some instructions to one of the crew going by, and the crew toddles off to do that. She's talking in Castilian to that particular crew member, and she basically tells them, like, put up our Inish flag and our truce flag, and then she's gonna lead the way down to her area where they do navigation and stuff like that, and have the maps and everything. Okay, that being said, let's move on. Ace and Nanette, you're gonna go find Tomas. Right?
Yeah. It was so much easier when I could just walk to his mark, but no, now she's like, I think they're probably in the cabin. They always are.
I think I heard them talking in there earlier. They don't.
Yeah.
From the way I understand it, they really don't read much. He's got books and shit.
They like to read.
Each other.
Hopefully.
They are.
I think they've
together,
made
right?
up.
They are together,
Yeah.
right?
I should hope so at this point.
I mean, my God.
Okay, yeah, so you get to the door of the
This is-
cabin.
this is just
that
side
the boys have
conversation.
been-
Yeah, we're just having this little
We're just
side conversation as we
gossiping
walk
now.
over there.
We're just gossiping now.
Out of all the
That's it.
relationships going on the ship, I feel like I'm most invested in Charles because he's such a sweet lad.
Yeah, so you get to the door. I assume we're knocking.
Yes.
I mean, Tomas would know who's there, but you know, just
Mhm.
still a nice polite.
Um,
Let them put their shirts on.
actually, what you hear is a very kind of soft. I mean, it's not real loud, but it's like, come in.
Could I tell which one it was?
It's Charles for sure.
Okay. Okay.
But we
Um,
do.
Yeah, we opened the door and I just assumed Annette and Ace peek in.
Yeah.
Is
What
everybody?
you see is there are two beds in the room. But what you see is Charles is sitting like sideways on the bed and he has a book, and Thomas is passed out asleep in his lap.
Oh. My
Well-
God. Okay, well, I mean, how long has he been asleep? Is there any way that we can wake him for a request? Are you okay with that, Charles?
I mean, I don't. He, like, gets real
Nanette just pokes him with her cane. Oi!
Sisters don't care. Like, oh God.
Ace does kind of get over to where Charles is, and she's like, "Looks like you shot your shot. That's a good job, bud."
Blush. Like,
She just pats his shoulder. May I pat your shoulder? All right.
This is what I get for leaving Tomas with any sort of reading material. This happens
Yeah.
every time.
Does he know how to?
Despite the pictures.
are you going and you know, just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, it's light. It's like she'll tap his knee or something with her cane. Just be
Yeah.
like, hey.
Tickle his foot with your sword.
No, she still uses her wooden cane.
Okay.
Yeah, he
That
kind
was
of
too flashy.
opens his eyes, like, oh, and he like gets up. He kind of like realizes where he is, and then he kind of like gets up real fast, and now he's
Is there
sitting up.
drool on like Charles's?
He was
lap?
passed out. Like he
So
was
there was. There's a,
absolutely passed out. Yeah, he was. He
You got a
was
wet spot there,
totally passed
Charles.
out.
that you were him.
You don't bring attention to that.
Oh, sorry.
God.
I had a friend that was a boy. and
Fine. Good lord. Jeez.
No, that's my best
We
friend.
apologize, Minu. We just have a quick question. If you can spare us a moment, we'll be out of your hair in no time.
You both are like little brothers to me, so I'm just picking.
Thomas has this look on his face, like I woke up for this. Like,
We don't have to be
what is
friends,
it?
but I have a request.
Thomas doesn't wake up very well, so it's sort of like
he
yeah.
really doesn't.
Understand.
Minu, can you sense the pot of gold? I think you should have a mark still there.
Charles looks over at Thomas and he's like, I was just like, you know, like don't, you know, he's like, don't start.
We don't need to descend or walk anything, just to make sure that they are in the direction we are headed.
And he like kind of closes his eyes for a second. Yeah, they're close. They're not far.
Oh, thank God.
That way. And he points off.
Okay. Well, that's a bit of good news, all things considered. I was a little worried, but maybe they had to take a wider route so they weren't visible from the cove.
And Captain O'Connell is very resourceful. Who knows? Maybe she's got more tricks up her sleeve that we don't know about.
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does.
Give him that
Alright.
old razzmatazz.
Doesn't Annette say that?
No.
Spirit fingers.
If Nanette said razzmatazz, Ace would have to like slowly go.
I think that would break Ace.
As-
That would be the breaking point.
As Tomas and Charles also go,
What?
No, Nanette just
And that's
kisses
what-
Tomas on the forehead and tells him to go back to sleep. We'll likely see some action in a few hours, so try to get whatever rest you can.
I think they've seen some. Well, I don't say that in
Ace,
the room.
please.
I wait until we're out of the room, and I'm like, I think they have already seen some action. Nanette, let's be honest.
No, I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah.
I've seen
Maybe.
Tomas after a
I
good
tried
lay.
to give.
This is not.
I tried to. Oh, I have you. I
Good
tried
lord.
to give.
He's not very discreet.
Yeah,
True. True.
That's unlike.
They'd be like, sis, guess what?
Guess who I shagged today? All the stable boys. Okay. Thanks, Tomas.
Yeah, Ace would be like, really, really. I thought that broke protocol. But fascinating.
Not for men.
I was giving.
Anyway. We do have a thing to get to. So as cute as
we
this is-
have this like blockade going, and this is adorable. We
yeah.
Ace is trying to make friends with Nanette, okay, and they're finally not bitching at each other.
Yeah. So you guys have left, right? You left and
Yeah,
we'll go back
yeah.
to sleep. So Charles as you guys are like walking out and have gotten down and you guys have been doing this chit chat or whatever, you hear the door close and Charles comes up to you both and he says, Miss Jensen, I don't know if you have anything in particular that Thomas can do, but he's been trying to help in what ways he can. That's why he's so tired. He's not used to that sort of thing. He was trying to help them like move sails and things like that, whatever he
Really?
could do. But I think he kind of feels a little useless, honestly,
not at
since
all,
he's
not
not
at all.
allowed to do his thing anymore. And well, not, I mean, not allowed. I mean, he could, but
No,
I mean,
it's honestly, I think we all agree, right, Nanette, that he's not allowed to do the thing.
Wait, I can put him to work with Odile. Just
I mean-
he hates numbers. That would put him sleeping faster.
No, if he wants to learn the ways of the ship, and either of you don't think that he would not listen to me, I can find some stuff for him to do. Nothing too bad. I can find some work, Charles. Do you like men with good arms, good chest? What's your favorite? I can
you guys are kind of. Do you want arms, legs, butt? Like what do I have him develop
I can
for
work.
you here?
I can
Is
work
that
the muscle. Charles, see Nanette. Charles, I gave Charles some good dating advice the other day, and
I
I'm really
can't.
happy with the progress we're making here. So
That's interesting. I gave Tomas some advice as well. I'm glad it worked.
Charles is just looking wide-eyed, like what
Charles-
the hell is happening right now? And he's like beet red again. He's
Charles,
like, what is-
Charles, please call me Amelia. You don't have to call me Miss McYansen. It's fine. But yes, let's. If he really wants to work, please have him. You can talk to him if you'd like first. I won't, suddenly do it unless you think that would be effective. But if you just want to have him come
Well,
and
I
talk
mean,
to me,
I can tell him, but I'm probably going to tell him that you mentioned something, because don't tell him like I told you this, because I don't think that would
oh, that's
make
fine.
him
No,
very
of course.
happy,
I put together some official crew papers, so it's all by the books.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And yeah, he'll never know that you said a thing. And as long as you don't make it sound like I said that he was like useless or anything, because I did not say that.
Oh no!
Don't make me
I
out to
won't.
be a
I think
bitch
I
to like
can.
inspire him. I don't need
No,
that.
no. I won't. I promise. I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
But I just think he's been kind of
Does he like to climb?
sad.
Nanette, are you okay with him in the rigging?
With enough practice, of course. I assume he
We'll
would
start
be
small.
starting as a stable boy cabin boy, and learning all the things. That's how he usually starts.
if you say stable boy, she'll be like, yes, for all the horses that were carried. Nanette, are you feeling all right?
I'm fine.
It's
Fine.
been a rough day. I'm
It's
sorry.
been a day.
I understood what you meant.
But yes, I'm assuming we can start him as a cabin boy, so he can learn the various roles on the ship and find one that is appropriate for him.
Yes, he can absolutely. We have that new cabin boy that we picked up a while back in Charus that just swabs the deck all the time, even when it doesn't need it. Spotless.
Oh
That
yeah,
one.
Gabriel. Yes, yes.
Yeah, we'll just,
yeah,
just
that one.
He's very good at it.
he can understudy
He's
with
kind of
Gabriel.
old for a cabin boy.
Yeah,
though.
he can.
Like,
Well, you know, some people don't want to be promoted, so we let them keep the position that they wish, and then he
He's
can understudy
very
in the past.
satisfied. He doesn't want any more responsibilities. That's all it is.
Yep, we'll get him started tomorrow. Should we live through the
okay,
night?
cool.
Charles, good lad. Go to bed.
So yeah, so Charles says thank you, and like he turns around and he goes back into the room, and oh yeah, okay. So Gianni, the ship is now boarded, with or connected to the Sapphire Dawn,
Sure.
and all of that. I assume you eventually see Ace and Nanette come up to the deck eventually. Andreas would be up there, or no, Andreas is over on the Sapphire Dawn right now. Look, y'all need to stop. I know what's happening over there, but
It's okay. It's nothing.
It's nothing. We're mature adults.
no, you're not. I figured it was something like
I
that.
got
I'm
distracted
sure.
by the gift train, and it's just
Yeah,
we're good. We're
children.
good. We're children.
Moving
sorry-
on, so we
sorry,
can actually
Danny.
get to this battle before I get Social Security or something.
Okay.
John will get it first.
All right, so Gianni, is there anything in particular now that you're like with the Sapphire Dawn and you see Ace and Nanette come back up to the deck? Anything in particular you would like to do, or have people you have conversations with, or whatever?
So what's the plan? There is
Asking
supposedly a plan, isn't there?
Well, we can either go with a direct approach, and I'm assuming blockade the ships and broadside them, or broadside the Silent Death ship. But that seems not a very good idea to do with somebody on board. But perhaps we will just try a cover-up night approach in longboats. I believe the raiders do. The raiders do something similar. Yes.
Are you asking me? Yeah. Yeah.
And we do have some of the best
And you
marines
know
money
you
can
have
buy.
experience. Yeah. You know you have experienced raiders from the Vestin.
Yeah,
crew.
we have Keg is an old raider that he just cleaned up and started crewing on merchant ships. But yeah, we have a raiding crew, and then we of course have the Marines. We have borders if needed. But I don't want to.
I would suggest that plan, just to see if we can retrieve your brother safely. Before
Yeah,
we...
I'm hesitant with cannons if Wild Kai is on the ship, but as soon as he's off,
I don't
honestly-
care. Blow it out of the water.
No, I'm just saying as soon as we get our people off. I mean, we know that
Yeah.
Storm Rider has. If I
One.
didn't mention her name before, we know that Storm Rider has Julia, who's we don't know what name she's going by, but that's who we have inserted on the ship.
I mean,
Kaya.
We have
all
Kaya.
of this sounds like this. I fear that this might be a trap. After this morning, the coincidence is very.
I don't disagree, Nanette. I have a healthy fear of, but I don't. The only thing that I can think that they could do, hell, fuck, I don't know. I don't know what they could do.
Can I pause, y'all, for a second? Because what I would really like, sorry, John, I didn't mean to cut you off. What I want to do is get Andreas and Stormrider. She's going to go down and gather her maps and things. But then she's going to say, I kind of would like to discuss this with your senior crew and my senior crew together to make sure that, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we were just.
And all
It
of
was.
that.
Yeah, that was the intention. I just wanted the two of us to kind of get an idea That way we knew what we were. That way we could talk, use maps, potentially roll warfare to like really plan it out,
Yeah.
like. And then we'd go up and we
Well,
would bring everyone in to make sure everyone was on the same page.
yeah. Well, above the table, I would rather do that with everybody just for experience, so that everybody can be together,
Mhm.
and y'all can be in a place to discuss it if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So she's gonna gather those, and y'all can go back to the Belladonna with Stormrider, and she has her first mate with her. And yeah, you see Andreas come back with Stormrider. They kind of come up and walk over to the Belladonna, and Stormrider has maps and things with her, and she has a woman who's her first mate. Obviously, new first mate, and because her other
Fiona got booted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have set someone up in the crow's nest or somewhere to sound to give a signal to pass a note to wherever we're going when they see the pot of gold. So if you
Okay.
see a ship approaching, and I will also describe the what kind of ship it is, but any ship approaching, send a signal.
All right.
Below deck.
So, yeah, there's coming aboard, and like just as y'all are kind of getting together, you had said that a little bit earlier. The crow's nest does signal that they see the ship, they see the pot of gold. So, oh yeah, John, go ahead.
While
You wanna-
everybody's dealing with that, and after I say that, and especially when they say, "Hey, we see the pot of gold coming," I will sneak down to Nanette's quarters, find where I hid the bee, and retrieve it. Because I did hide it in her room, so she would find it eventually, but that hasn't come up yet.
Okay, excellent. All right, cool. Yeah, so they call down like it's the pot of gold, like, and all of that. So, Captain Stormrider says perhaps we should wait until we can all get together, the three of us, if it's going to be our three ships.
I think that's probably wise. We can set up for them to also gangplank and
Cool.
join us, which is not safe.
It's just a gangplanking going on over here. Just a big.
Hey, wait a second.
gangplanking.
Wait a second.
What? I
What's your
mold to my
adult?
environment. I'm like liquid. I'm like water. I mold to my environment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of speed run that, unless somebody wants to do anything in particular
Speed
beforehand. We're gonna say, you signal the pot of gold, and they're like, okay, cool, we see you, and or something like
Hey,
that.
baby, come over. We gotta talk.
Come hither, come hither. And so they do. The pot of gold, sails alongside. And yeah, and so Olaf and Captain O'Connell and Douglas Cameron, Nathan will be like, you forgot his name, will come in, and they kind of look around and so now I imagine you guys are all on the deck. The three of them, the two from the Sapphire Dawn, and then y'all are there. And Akira, they look much the same. They seem to be in good spirits. They seem to have been, doing what you had asked. So, yeah. Now we're all here.
Oh,
Let's,
Nanette totally is gonna hug Kira.
Oh! Yeah, she will hug you back. Oh, she says, Miss Rivera. Well, look at you. And she looks you up and down. And,
I've been better and worse, but it's so good to see you again. Wish you were under better circumstances.
Yes, well, it had been. We got a little worried when we saw the signal, but you appear to be fine.
Oh, now,
And
let's
the
go to the captain's cabin. We have much to
Okay.
discuss.
cool. So the various crews are, doing their thing while you all head down to the Andreas's cabin, I assume. It has a nice table in there and everything. So I'm gonna know it is Kara O'Connell, Douglas Cameron, Olaf Gunderson, and you four, and it will be Captain Stormrider and her first mate. Anybody else that you wish to have there?
Do we want Keg?
No, Keg. While we're all down, Keg needs to be holding the watch. So
I think this is probably a good, unless we want to. I don't think we need Charles either. I don't think this is a tactical discussion. We might.
Yeah, this is tactics team.
What about August? He
Oh,
is the master of sales.
Master of Sales probably, but we definitely have Leon there. Leon
about-
should be there.
He's standing in a corner, brooding.
What about Veps? Do we need our master gunner? But we want to not gun, right? So at least not at first.
We probably would have Veps there.
And then I'm the navigator, so that's.
Yanni and I are just here as set pieces.
Yeah, but they're beautiful set pieces. Beautiful set pieces.
About how far away are we from them?
Just kiss Gianni's head again.
You're about maybe an hour from the cove.
When Kiara joins us and we're all in the room, Ace is and introductions have been made if they hadn't already. Hopefully Kiara and Stormrider are friendly. I don't know what their past is like, if anything.
They from your impression, they haven't met before. But it feels like they know of each other. So it's this kind of, I've heard of you.
Do I get a vibe that Kiara is sus of Pirate Mom, or vice versa?
No.
Okay.
They don't seem sus of each other.
Cool. They're both like, wow, we're
Mostly-
hot.
Yeah, we're hot. We're just hanging out together, being hot. I don't know. I don't know what they do.
I don't know what hot people do, guys. None of us. No, so I
They don't
was
seem us, but they seem. I mean, yeah, she's a pirate. Kira, doesn't really care for pirates all that much. But Kira's perspective is like, this is. I mean, because we're going after pirates, and they are. And I assume you kind of explained at least a little bit of the situation.
yeah,
so
I'd
at
say
that point, you're going to give Stormrider the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, I would
in
say
that
after introductions have been made and a brief kind of catch up, I would love to be able to exchange more pleasantries, and of course I'd love to be able to just find out what we've all been up to, but it's been a hell of a lot over the last few weeks, and we have called you here because there's some shit going on. But I do have a question for you, Captain O'Connell. It is lovely to see you, of course. Do you have you noticed anything odd about the Whisper's behavior since it's been in Cove, or leading up to entering the Cove?
They seem to be preparing for something that we've noticed, and she'll say that loud enough for everyone to hear. I mean, because this is information that probably everybody should know.
Absolutely.
We have noticed that they seem to be preparing for something, bringing equipment on board and things like that. We don't know exactly where they're getting from. They seem to come from land and then be sailed out, boated out to their ship. We haven't been able to tell what they are. But that would be, and we did see, people leaving the ship upon occasion and all of that. When we were able to, get close enough, we anchored far enough away that we were able to send some people over land to try to get some sight and lookout on what was happening. And we did notice, like I said, items going back and forth, people going on and off. But other than that, they were doing some repairs. And we did note that, from what you said and what we know about the bracers, we definitely feel like they were used a couple times
They were.
while we were following them.
You didn't have any storms coming after you or anything, did you?
I don't think they noted us. I think we were far enough
Thank
away.
Fuck for that.
I think we were just primo targets.
Well, yeah, again, we have some stories to share. The most pertinent information that we have, though, at the moment, if you don't mind, captains, is and she would have probably mentioned. I will say, Ace would have set or would have pulled Andreas aside, kind of when we were waiting for Kiera and her crew to come over and been like, "Is it okay if I take the lead here, just to share the information as swiftly as possible, and try
no.
to come up with something?"
Yeah. No, Andreas will definitely let her like do the catch up and everything. Start
Sure.
the brief, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. When we get to tactical things, absolutely take over, because that is not my strong suit. I just pull trigger. But Captain O'Connell, since we last met, I believe I told you that I'd met my brother. He is currently crewing on the Whisper, and I don't remember if I told you that.
She looks
But-
surprised. No, she didn't know that.
Okay. I know that sounds really suspect, but anyway, we have a way that we are able to communicate, and it's been fairly fortuitous. And I'm glad that you were following them too, because I'll be honest, and I kind of glanced at my mother, but I'll be honest that I was concerned that maybe he could be manipulated by the enemy, but I don't believe that's happened. I got my information from him that this is where they were. We've been tracking it that way as well, and I believe he is in some grave danger. And tonight, this is mostly because I think we need to get him off the ship as quickly as possible. And Captain Stormrider has been with us now for a few weeks, since we left Labuka the last time, and it would be I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that she is my mother. And yes, I've asked you to come help with some family shit, and I'm sorry about that, everyone, but Kaya doesn't deserve this. He didn't know what he was getting into. I fully believe that. And this is the first step.
And not to mention my crew member, Julia, as well, has been over there getting information as well.
Her too. We do need to extract. This is the first step in being able to do what we actually set out to do back when we first were in Labuka, Kira. This is how we get Silent Death, and we are able to attack the ship without having to worry about collateral damage on our part.
I understand. Especially if we're going to be following them to try to stop them, or trying to stop them. However, I know, if I may say, I just want to remind everybody, this is Kira, obviously, she says, I know the first instinct would be to blockade that cove. And normally I would say that that's a good plan and that would work. However, we have seen, and I'm sure you have seen, how Silent Death can manipulate the storms. And I would be afraid for our ships if we tried to block him from leaving. Because he's proven he has no compunction about that. I didn't want to say anything.
Together.
Yeah. I didn't want to say too much, but I feel it's appropriate just to impress upon everyone what we have seen. When we've seen him and been able to observe these storms, or at least seen what they can do. Even though our ship was as far behind as we could get, we were still able to hear the noise and the screams over the water whenever he was conjuring these storms with those bracers. And I'm quite convinced that he doesn't have a compunction about using that ability. And I don't know exactly what it does, but whatever it is not some magic that I would want to try to do a blockade with.
Perhaps
He doesn't
we should
seem to
tell
have a
you.
lot of consideration for collateral damage, shall we say.
I think we should tell you how
Yes.
his magic works. And she sort of
Okay.
looks at Gianni to do it, or
Yeah, we all kind of look at Gianni. Oh, are we telling all the family secrets also above
no,
the table?
just how the
Are-
magic works and the
Okay, okay.
price that it exacts.
Johnny can reveal what he wants to reveal, I suppose. Carol will be looking at you, and so will Storm Rider, because she's interested in this. Everybody's interested in this, and like, what the heck is going on?
There is a
Ace,
great
Ace brings out some popcorn and hands it over.
there is a great deal going on here. And it is just not enough to explain the bracer. The reality is that I would lay odds Silent Death is aware that we are nearby.
I agree.
He has found a way to utilize Sorte.
Yeah, everybody kind of looks a little, but yeah, they have that, and then finally someone, probably Cameron, is like, but I thought that was simply something for the women in Bodachi.
It is now.
Unless
as-
Silent Death is a woman, and we don't know,
No.
but
It was not. My guess is that a couple hundred years ago, it was probably men and women. But since that time, it has been relegated in the Prophet's time to only being women in order to ensure the church's power. It's a long story, but here's the reality. He can see the lines of fate, and he can see as they grow in tauntness, as people that he is aware of get closer to his ship. So he will be aware that we are coming. That bracer is a part of a birthright, a family legacy that, well, he is a part of and he is able to utilize. That bracer runs off the power of fate.
Kara says, wait, because they were the ones that told you about the Tempest, I think. Or at least they heard about it and were able to give you some. So Kara says, wait, so Silent Death is related to the Tempest somehow? Is that what you're saying?
If not a direct descendant, yes.
I see.
As am I.
Really?
I don't have time to go over everything, and I know that this puts me in danger to tell you so much. But the fact of the matter is that I have worked out a way to distract and disguise our approach.
So what is the plan? I'm open to suggestions, Kira says. How are we going to extract our people?
Well, either you have to send in a ship with none of us on it, or
And all three, Kara O'Connell and Stormrider are like, like, you want us to sacrifice like the Sapphire Dawn or the Particle? Like, that's the look that passes over their face, like.
or I have learned how to, like my brother, we have developed other ways in which faith can be utilized. I can weave. I can take the lines of fate and tie it to something. I can make him think your ship is someplace it is not. Preferably another ship. Lifeboat, whatever you wish to call it. I will be honest. I take it, and I man it in a direction that would distract. Your ships or a ship approaches from a different direction. He will believe that our crew is elsewhere, while the rest of you approach. It's the only way
Kara
I
and
can do it.
Stormrider wanted everybody else.
He will likely
How-
try to use the bracer on me, and I am also the most likely to be able to survive such.
While that is a good plan, we are already just an hours away. He knows we're coming.
He
At
does.
this point, subterfuge is going to not offer much except for maybe directing us the west of the storm elsewhere.
Exactly. It's the best we have. And if you have a certain person with the eyes to be able to shoot at a distance, disguise it to the thunder, you can make sure they don't see your ships approaching.
So, and this is Storm Rider. So the idea is, because you feel Silent Death would go after you, you will go out and serve as a distraction while everybody else goes in and tries to free the people.
At which point, once you have your people, I don't know, do you wish to leave or do you wish to deal with it? Because I myself, I am prepared.
Captain Paris?
I think we need to, once we retrieve our people, I think that the Whisper needs to be at the bottom of that cove, and that Silent Death needs to join his ancestor. And
Ace looks at Gianni, but she doesn't say anything.
That is a call that those who wish to may make. But I do also have my own way.
Gianni, may I propose something as rather than you doing this alone? Wouldn't it be better for you to be with everyone else? If anyone can deal with the storm the moment it is created, it would likely be you. It would minimize loss of life, and I'm worried that as soon as Silent Death will see any sort of fate line that is unfamiliar to him approaching, that he might be able to conjure the storm and, well, someone's going to get it caught in the crossfire.
I don't know. But the thing is that I have a fate line directly to him that I think he put on me. One that I haven't touched. That is my bait.
Here, Silent Death! Here, Silent Death! Come here! I love this, because this is really the tension in the room. Everyone's kind of like...
Yeah, like above the table. I don't know if it's that big of a win, just because we're already so close.
And
Honestly, I think they know we're here, right? But they don't know about the dawn, we think, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have reason to
And they
believe
probably
that
don't know about the pot of gold.
Right, if they didn't spot the pot of gold before now. Honestly, I think we keep those two ships out of sight. If I understand the geography of this cove right above the table, I'm assuming that there's kind of like a pinched inlet, like almost like a bottleneck into this.
Yeah,
into this
I
area.
mean, it's sort of. I mean, it's not tiny.
Right,
You
not
know,
tiny, but it's gonna be. It's not like the width of the entire cove is the entryway.
Right. It does have like an enclosure. It's a cove, so
Okay.
it does have some stuff coming around the sides. You could probably maybe 5 or 6 ships could go abreast of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ace, this is what I would say. We don't have reason to believe that they know about the other 2 ships, but they obviously know that we're here, and they know that we make questionable choices. All right, we've done this multiple times, so let's play into that. Is what I would suggest. So if we were planning on blockading it, instead let's put the Sapphire Dawn on one side of the cove, hidden off the off where they can't just spyglass out, and then the pot of gold on the other. We go in alone, and I don't know, we're kind of gonna have to fake it until we make it once we get in there. And honestly, I know that is not what any of us are comfortable with doing.
It's
But
not the first time we walked into an obvious trap,
it's
so let's just keep it going.
Well, can I? Do I need a roll to see if Nanette is being sassy pants right now?
I mean, she's
or if
being sassy, but she also, this is her agreeing with the strategy. That
I
she
just-
thinks is like playing the
I
best
think it's
strategy.
our best.
Being
It's our.
mad at Ace,
It's
yeah.
it's sadly, while it's not worked, it's worked. If that makes sense. It's not been the best successes that we could have hoped for, but we have made it out thus far. And I think we go in. I'm even open to the point if I'm even open with playing on Villain Gianni that he put on this morning and being like, I know where you are, bro. Our breakfast ended quite abruptly. Are you ready to discuss this? Silent Death, I look at Gianni, Silent Death may not even know that your uncle met with you today. There's always a chance that he was playing a card that he was keeping close to the chest. So I think we have some angles we can work here. And if not, we come in and we go, well, you can go, you're my brother, and I go, I want my fucking brother. And we do our best to work something out. But I think Villain Gianni might be our best card to play. And I know that this makes no sense to most of you, but we were invited to a brunch today that we stupidly went to, and Gianni was masterful at working Giovanni. I actually think
You
he
met
impressed him.
Giovanni Villanova.
Stupidly, yes, but I really actually think Gianni impressed the fucking socks off of him. I think Giovanni wanted him in the family.
And
Like
there's no better way to get into a Villanova family than to murder of your biggest competition.
The elder brother.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I don't. And the both Stormrider and O'Connell look at you, Gianni, and are like, well, I mean,
Are you okay with this, bud?
yeah.
I'm okay with it. But, there's as much chance that he's had time to, what is the term, to, I guess, anchor multiple ways his ship, and then just pull a hurricane into that cove.
Well, then
That
you
is
just
all-
hurry then.
That is always a threat with him.
I will say, ultimately, my goal before this is all over is to be close to my brother. Because
Okay. That's our goal too.
Wait, Gianni, I don't think you should.
I mean,
I know you said that you were like them, but you are not.
in that I don't agree with it. And I don't like what happened, but unfortunately it has opened my eyes to a possibility that I could sever death from his magic.
Oh, I thought you were just going to try to kill him. Well, I mean, that might work. It's worked before. It's worth a shot.
Gianni.
Captain O'Connell is like, can you do such a thing? I've never heard of such a thing.
I lean over. If I'm standing over there, I'm like, I'll tell you
Yeah,
later.
I mean, you can be close here, sure.
I'll tell you later. But that knife you gave me is pretty fucking cool.
Gianni,
It is.
if I can hold back the storm to give you the time to be able to do it, could you do it?
Sever my brother's magic?
Yes.
Likely
could
everything
hold-
but the glove. But then if I sever him from his magic, he wouldn't be able to use other people to power it.
So it would be down to basically what I have to deal with. He only has what resources he has directly on him.
His own life force, yes.
That might kill him anyway.
I do have one last trick up my sleeve.
I've never seen
I
him
hold up
honestly.
the bee. As we
We're
approach.
definitely not doing that.
Oh no! Can I say you think I wish to die from this?
What, it's there was a lot of talk of martyrdom recently, and I want to make sure we're not doing anything
Not
foolish.
everyone is as cavalier with danger as you are, Nanette. Come on.
Look, if I was into martyrdom, I would have joined the. I would have stayed at the convent with my parents and worshipped one.
Yeah, both Storm Rider and Galgon. It's like flamey drama over there.
All right, what do you plan to do with the bee?
Locate where Ace's brother is.
Well, I mean, that would definitely be useful, and if dear old mom looks a little confused, be like, well, it is a way that we could sneak onto the ship without being seen. Theoretically, we just have to be very careful. It's an
What
artifact.
does it do?
It whoever puts on the ring that houses. Sorry, Johnny, if you don't mind. I've done it before. It's really fun. So
It's a
you
lot
put
of
on
fun.
this. You put on. Oh, you've done it. Nice.
Yeah, just you become
Oh,
a bee.
wait. Wait. Okay, well, that thing was stolen, like, so long ago. Like, where?
Oh, was that
it's just
Kira's?
a little- Yeah. You don't know. All you know is you got it from the Count. So you have no idea where it
good.
came
Well, at least
from.
we didn't steal it.
Johnny
For-
found that at the Count's place.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought,
he
and then suddenly I was
found-
like, fuck.
No. Kira, both Kira was saying this because she's the one that kind of knows about artifacts, and she was saying that thing disappeared, like, got stolen, like, a long time ago. It was in
Gianni's
possession
kind of
got
grinning like
stolen
a
again.
Cheshire cat, yeah.
used for a noble, and it disappeared. I mean, I'd heard legend. Never mind. I hopefully get the story.
It's
something to
fascinating.
drink
It's fascinating.
later.
But yeah, somebody can put on the ring. Their essentially perception goes into the bee. It's a little mechanical golden thing, and it flies off. The only problem, and like it can sting, right? But if you sting somebody, it'll
One-time
kill you.
use.
It'll kill the bee, right?
Yeah.
So we try not to sting, and then also if you die like if it gets smashed or something, the person doesn't come back to themselves.
But I've already learned that I can see lines of fate still while I am bee. I can use my powers while I'm in it. I can track using the line to figure out where he is.
And you
on
don't
that
have
ship.
to get close. Yeah.
Wait, what if Silent Death can see your line though, or feel it?
That's a possibility. But he likes to create this web. I don't even know if I've told you about it.
You have.
The others.
He can
Can
tie.
the bee carry things?
Not much. It's not. I have not tried.
It's not an ant. It's a bee.
Well, I'm sure it could carry something very small,
I bet it could carry a
Well,
drone.
what I'm thinking is,
like a bomb.
No.
well, I'm
Of
thinking
what?
is, yeah. What
A
I was
mark.
thinking was, yeah, a mark. If the bee can bring that to your brother, and we can find another one to bring to Julia, we could quickly get them off the ship with the.
Can we
with,
just mark like paper and use it like that?
That's what I was thinking.
Paper.
Mark a piece of paper, take it over. I mean, at that point, we'd just be doing to Silent Death what he did to the Utrecht. Turnabout seems fair.
Karma, bitch!
I don't want anyone on the ship risking themselves if possible.
No, it's you. We're gonna make you do it.
No, I'm
but you
saying
don't-
to stay
Oh.
and try and set the damn thing on fire.
Oh no, I'm not gonna set the thing on fire.
No, that's not what we're talking about, Gianni. We're
I-
just gonna use the mark to get onto the ship like they did to ours. We're not all you. We don't set things on fire, love.
I
Love you,
think the
Gianni.
bee would need to be marked in that case. paper is semantics of marks, but the minor versus major. But if the B, for example, was marked, then a pot image could potentially walk to it.
I can tie off
Right,
my lines
and then we
here.
could get our people out at the same time, quickly before they realized, and then we would be able to do whatever we wanted.
I can tie off my lines here. If I tie off my lines here, he would never know that I am coming to the ship.
This is true too. Captain Stormrider, is Brigitte combat trained?
Oh, she's decent. Most of our all of my crew is trained, but I was under the I mean, if we do it quick enough, there won't be a need for that. We
No,
can
but if she
walk
gets in a
to where they
corner,
are.
that's my only concern.
Right.
I mean, even if she just has some roguey backstabby abilities and stuff, that she could.
Yes,
Shut
I
up,
think
Allah.
she's perfectly capable enough to do that. If someone wanted to go with her, she's skilled enough to take 2-3 people back, herself and 2 others.
Does that not?
If somebody
put her,
wants to go with her.
does that not put her in grave danger?
I mean, it's more difficult, but if you had someone else with her, she'd have more someone to help deal with anything she might find on the other side.
Perhaps we send some of our best combatants then. In
Speaking of martyrs, let me get my belt on. Let's
well,
go.
I was
I'm
going to
joking.
suggest the captain or perhaps one of the marines, those who are better at close combat.
I actually think that's a good idea. I'm much better at range. I would love to be the one to pull my brother off that ship, but I also have a healthy fear of that ship. And that is why we have Marines, is it not?
That's why we have them.
Captain Leon, do you have words? Or do you just go where we tell you?
I think he agrees with the plan.
Yeah,
Listen,
you know, it was a
Luna's
positive.
over there going, that's a yes.
That's a yes.
They have a code as well.
Like Stormrider
Luna
flips over
speaks
with her staff.
Leonese.
Then
yeah,
we have Luna
so-
there to translate. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can be ready. You know, put the ships to the side if we need to.
I just think
what-
that's the
what is
smartest
our
thing.
So as far as I'm understanding, this is Stormrider now. She says, so from what I understand, our plan is to use this Searnith artifact to bring a marked item over, or the bee itself, and using that to get on the ship and rescue our people.
Yes.
Well, the belladonna distracts them, hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to go in, and Gianni. Well, you're going to use the bee, aren't you? Well, we'll just do the. You're going to tie off your fate lane here, so it gives Silent Death the impression that you're on the ship, and not on the bee.
Exactly.
And he does not, as far as this is GM talking, and as far as you know, he doesn't know that Gianni can do that at this point. Like, he doesn't know that Gianni can do this sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, he can make storms. You can tie knots. That's why you're a sailor on knighthood.
He has something similar. This is what I was warning. He can take the fate lines of other people and create a web that then is a trap, so he knows when people approach.
Yes, but let's move quickly then. I think is what Nanette had said earlier, is we work with haste. You tie off the line. The the Pot of Gold and the Sapphire Dawn split up, go to opposite sides of the cove's point of ingress, and then we go in, you tie them off, you take the bee in, figure out where Kaya is and where Julia is. Stay there. She looks at Nanette. Major marks, minor marks, I don't understand. But whatever we have to do, then knowing that he's going to figure out as soon as somebody else steps foot on that ship, they porte in and they porte out. Is that the plan?
That
what I
would be the
heard.
best way to get everyone off, and then the Belladonna can. Well, we wouldn't be able to broadside, but you know, we can turn around and broadside. We have far more guns than the Whisper, and I intend to show them that.
That gets people out. Yes, I mean that gets the people
Yes,
out.
that gets people out. And then you come back as well. And then we can start shooting. Unless you have... We can still discuss the silent death thing here, Johnny.
I just feel like the moment we get them out, we must be prepared to remove the magic.
Well,
As soon
in
as
that case,
I'm sorry.
You're
other
thinking
than
he's
you-
gonna retaliate. Is that what you're thinking? That as soon as he realizes they're gone, he's gonna retaliate with a storm.
and that's my concern as well. Perhaps maybe Gianni, maybe you shouldn't be the bee, and instead be with the party that is boarding.
I can see the threads to know how to get on the ship without alerting silent death. So I have to be the bee. No, my thought is I put the marks, I come back, we enact the plan, I go through with the team, I deal with silent death.
I mean, that's fine. It's just a slightly altered timeline to what we had discussed. That's fine. That's fine. But know that he's going to retaliate one way or another. So we just have to be prepared for that, and that's when we turn tail and run. Well, we fire some shit, but then we need to leave, and then we can deal, because if he does retaliate, he does tend to go after his quarry. He can send storms to harry us and fuck with us, but if we have something he wants on ship, he will come after us. I fully believe that. He didn't just send storms to fuck with the Utrecht.
Right.
He showed up.
Yeah. Gianni, you would also know that, yeah, he can send storms, but if he's using, like, life force, he also has only a limited amount that he can pull from that's with him. So there is some barrier to how much that he can do. You're not quite sure what that is, but you know that there is a point where he will not be able to pull more energy to make a bigger storm.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What I was just going to say, we have a bigger ship that outguns the Whisper. If we go into that cove, guns blazing, and start a confrontation with them, they will not be able to flee quickly. We can board their ship. He cannot instantly create a storm. It would take him time.
Is what I would suggest. Is we go and do all the plan as we said. We start firing shots at them, but I don't think we board them in the cove. We make him come out to us, because if we can get... This is the whole purpose of hiding the Sapphire... or hiding the Dawn and hiding the Pot of Gold, is if we can lure him out into open waters, they can come in behind him, because he will be focused on us. And then they can come in and flank from behind, and then we all... Or, you know, if the... And I would look at the other captains. If your ships aren't combat heavy, that's fine, but we can close off the cove so he can't go back. If there's something there, we don't know what else he's been doing here in the cove. But
Well,
I'm just...
Have we checked the flag from the Carnival?
Oh,
Maybe they want us here because they need us here for another reason.
do you think the Carnival is in this cove?
I don't know. It could be. We don't know.
They're pretty sure the Carnival is out where the prophet's teeth are, the dragon's teeth. out in
Oh,
the
okay.
ocean. Sure, that's where it is.
But it's not
Yeah,
far.
I just wanted to make sure that we weren't like, oh, this is the cove where actually there's the shipwreck.
That
yeah,
would be
yeah.
amazing. But no, I think we use the advantage of the two ships behind, and we lure them out into open waters because he will come. And the other thing to remember, Gianni, is yes, he can do the storms, and yes, he has limited power, but it also takes a fuck ton out of him. They do not. It's not like he can just snap his fingers and use it and not pay for it later. Which is why I think
He
we've
has a
been able to fight
cooldown
them.
on that ability.
Yeah, he's
To put
absolutely.
it in game speak.
He's got like a 30-minute. He's got like a 30-minute cooldown for that special ability. So that's my suggestion. Our priority is getting the people off, and then luring him out to either take them down or, Gianni, I still think playing the card that Villanova reached out to you might not be a bad idea. You know that thing you did this morning where you made Giovanni feel like you were one of them? You haven't used that on your brother yet. I won't say brother if that's not known. I will say silent.
No, it's all right.
We mentioned that earlier.
I think I have an idea.
Well, we're running out of time. Do we?
Oh no,
wanna...
it's just a simple idea. I'm just going to taunt him in a way that I know that he will pursue me.
Okay, there we go.
Well, it
Show
sounds
your
like we
ass.
have a solid plan then.
Sorry.
As well it is. The GM feels like quoting Gimli here.
Yeah.
Tune in next week as we implemented it.
You know, just be like, small chance of success? What are we waiting for?
Pretty much.
All right. Well, with that decided, the captains are going to make sure that Captain O'Connell and Captain Stormrider are going to make sure that they have communication and marks with each other if needed. Way that they can communicate and where they're going to be on the coves and everything like that. So they're preparing to get into position. Before they do that, though, are you planning? So you're planning on obviously the Porte Mage going in and pulling the person out once Gianni gets the mark.
With Leon or something.
Did you agree to? Yeah. Did you agree to have somebody to go,
Yes.
just in case?
I believe
Alright.
the boarding party is going to be the Porte Mage, whichever one chooses to go, whether it's Brigitte or Vivian.
Vivian.
It's going to be Gianni, myself, Leon, and probably it is. I don't know what the what either of their limitations are when it comes to number of people.
Yeah. Well, Brigitte can take 3 people, including herself. So she could take. Well, I mean, she could take 4 people, including herself. So she could take herself, 2 other people, and have enough to bring whoever back.
Well, she
Okay.
would only
So
be
if you
able to
want-
bring one person back then. But if we're rescuing
Right.
Kaya and one of Stormriders, then she can only
Julia,
bring... Yeah.
one person with her.
But Gianni needs to be there to be able to sever magic. So the number of people going and the number of people coming back do not have to be the same. Can still be the same number without.
Well, Gianni's... Well, again, it's when we're planning to implement it. Like, do we implement it right
Gianni's
then and when
gonna
Gianni's
be
there?
the so you don't need to worry about him with Porte.
No, it's not.
But when he
It's
comes
gonna be the
back,
bee.
when he comes back without as not the bee, I think that's when we bring in the Belladonna, and we get it closer, and Captain Villain Gianni
Yeah.
lures him out. That's what I think. No offense, Captain. I think Villanova will, after our performance today, I think
No.
we could sell it that Gianni will put that hat on him and a good coat, and and he could stand
Oh.
up there at the.
No. That's not a terrible idea for him to portray as captain, unless you intend to.
Intend to what?
Oh no, Gianni seems to be thinking, and I wanted to give him a chance to respond to answer.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I go as B, I come back.
Yes,
I go a boarding party.
that's what I heard.
I sever the line while I'm with the boarding party.
Yes.
Then you use your abilities that we know you have to get the fuck off the boat without going back through the portal.
You
Very.
could probably bring more people if you got Brigitte and Vivienne to work together.
See, I was thinking we could ask Vivian too, but we've kind of given her a ship first day.
Well,
mean,
she
but-
also did not want to walk a lot. That was part of her
Part of her
initial.
thing. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think honestly, I think Gianni will be able to get back off. That's
And,
Gianni has got those. You guys have seen him. He just fucking runs off and runs across buildings. Fuck off.
Wait, but it's the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, but he can swim.
The cove is not.
He could probably also steal a longboat or something. Like,
Oh no,
I have no doubt of this man's ability to steal anything. I just think if we're going to that point, we may as well go in guns blazing, as it were, and take out the Whisperer and board it and deal with them. Take his magic, take what they have.
Honestly, I think that let's at least get through the first part. And if it's anything else like everything else that we've done, the next part will become clear when it's time.
All right. And with that, as you all are sitting there in this meeting, you hear very, very distant and very soft, but it's there, is the sound of thunder.
Yep.
And with that, we will go ahead and we will end for the week. And we are now coming down to the two-part finale. Next week. And should we announce when we're doing the last one?
We absolutely should, because it's.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's. Yeah, y'all need to mark your calendars now. We expect you all to be adults that don't go out trick-or-treating on Halloween, because we are going to have our season finale on Monday, October 31st at 7 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/rookandrasp. And with many apologies to our family channel, QG Entertainment, we will be taking their time slot for the evening. Sorry about that. But it's all right.
We talked to him.
We talked about it. It's all good.
Okay.
But
You
that will
guys
be.
asked! So I'm just saying.
No,
I have
yeah,
no
we
clue.
asked for
You
a
guys
reason, and I'm not going trick or treating. I want to play pirates, and I want to dress up as pirates, and
Then fix
so
it.
come here for your tricks and your treats, my loves, and we'll be back
Yes.
next Tuesday. We don't have any other games this week because John and I and Allah and many other people are going to be going to Gamehole Con. So no games this week, no games on Sunday. Next game is right here, 7 p.m. Tuesday night for episode 13, part 1 of the season 2 finale. By
It's
Leaps
called The
and
Carnival, Part 1.
Bounties.
Oh boy!
We kind of got out of Phoenixawa, Danny.
Kinda.
Sorry that
We
we
did.
didn't get as far as you wanted.
Sort of. It's okay.
Yes.
You were on the boat and you were moving away from shore, so I'll take that as a win. Yes, so tune in next week. Any other announcements? No?
Not for
So
the rest
tune
of
in next week and see how all this plan goes down. Will they save Kaya? Will they save Julia? Will Gianni be able to convince his brother that he is a villain? Will Silent Death rain the storms down upon them? Will Andreas be able to captain their ship in there and do the best he can? Will Ace and her mother be able to reunite with her brother? Will Ace be able to support all that? And will Nanette ever get... I don't know.
She'll be here.
what's
She'll be
Nanette's
here.
goal right now? She'll be here.
She's
Will
present.
she be able to keep Pip and Squeak from trying to insert themselves in whatever shenanigans happens to be going on?
She's just gonna play ship mom.
And just really quick, because Revna did point it out in chat, we do have Alien coming back on Wednesday next week. That is correct. Sorry
Oh.
about that, Rev.
Yep, let's see. Alien! Alien!
Well, yeah, I only meant that there was no Walian this week, not next week.
I know.
Yeah, but Tune in for Aliens next week, though, after this game. And that would be awesome because that's a great system, and I love the Alien franchise. So it is awesome, and I have seen that it is a great game so far. So be sure to tune in for that, and it will be like the day after Halloween, like a couple days after Halloween, so it will still be, in the Alien and all that stuff. So totally appropriate. So until next time, I wish you fair winds and following seas, and we will see you next week.
Bye, friends.
Good night.